my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time we have that discussion about closing the Forbidden Door once and for all. I genuinely don't believe that I wasted my entire afternoon watching this show tonight. If you want an emotionless, non-story driven 5 hours, while on top of that, AEW insulting your intelligence, some of your favorites banished to a developmental brand, and a main event that was a mere circus comedy act with gore and violence, because that's the only way AEW can grab a headline. If you enjoyed that 5 hours, you may be one of those sickos. I am not a sicko. I'm a realist. This show sucks. We're going to talk about it. We're going to the beer garden, man. The summer's almost over, man. We need them cold. Tonight, ice cold. And when I get there and walk through those doors on this Sunday night, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Forbidden Door post show for your Sunday, August 24th, 2025. I am your host, JD from New York, as always, coming to you live from the OTS Beer Garden. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on this Sunday evening, wherever you may be, joined by the one and only, the keys to the YouTube kingdom. He got banned, but luckily he has a set for the venue. Chi-Town Smart. Jesse, what's going on, man?
What up? Oh, God damn it. There we go. What up, bro?
Are you already having technical difficulties, man? Did you really walk through the Forbidden Door?
No, man. You remember you was screaming in my ear during the sound check? I turned you down. Now I can't hear myself.
I wasn't
So
screaming. What are you talking about? Why are you lying already, bro?
Screaming.
Screaming. When do I ever scream, man? I'm a regular, just cool, calm, and collected dude, bro.
You're like doing the sound check. I'm like, hey, bro, what's going on? You're like, what's going on?
No, I'm not, man. What happened to you, man? YouTube gave you the axe, man. Did you get in trouble with Tony Khan, man? What happened?
Yeah, then somebody started crying and bitching, bro.
Of course.
Haters gonna hate. What you gonna do?
I know.
What you gonna do, Wayne?
I get it every day, man. Welcome to the big leagues, bro, where they start trolling you, you know?
Sometimes you fly a little bit close to the sun, you get burned. What are you gonna do, bro?
That's all right. You'll be back tomorrow, man. You learn your lesson.
It happens.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It was a long weekend over here, man. You know what I'm dealing with over here mentally.
Yeah.
This show did not do anything to suppress the bad that I'm feeling this weekend, bro. I may have a different view compared to some people out there, maybe compared to you. I'll let you start us off here tonight and give us your general feeling on Forbidden Door, because I enjoyed some of what we got tonight. I enjoyed certain aspects of the show. A lot of it I did not like. I felt like my intelligence was insulted in several aspects of this show. But please let us off, man. What'd you think of tonight's 2025 edition of Forbidden Door?
So I think it was a mid show. I don't think it was as bad as you're portraying it to be, but it was nowhere near as good as a pay-per-view that I'm used to them putting on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they could have done so much more, but it all comes down to A, the build that they gave us, and B, the lack of storytelling in said build. I mean, this is the problem with Forbidden Door. It's just a bunch of matches. And as much as Tony Khan might love CMLL and New Japan and everything else, we don't. His fan base just does not, man. So I think he's just into his own feels when he books Forbidden Door now, and he thinks that we're all. I mean, let's be real, man. The only real Forbidden Door that the pro wrestling industry would actually give a legitimate shit about with no story involved would be a pay-per-view with WWE and AEW. That's it. Otherwise, it's just AEW with a bunch of indie promotions that no one really gives a shit about. You can't pull these stars out of these different companies and expect us to care about them just because he does. We don't. All right. And you can't justify it by just putting on, some great matches, because we've already established the fact that we know that his roster can wrestle. We know they can go. We know he does not have a roster full of scrubs. They can all wrestle, but you can only wrestle your way so far into people's feels when it comes to a storyline. And that comes down to the creative team. And I just think just creatively, they just either A, take a break, or B, they don't know how to garner any interest in a Forbidden Door card. It's kind of reminiscent of the Survivor Series days when it was Raw versus SmackDown with no build, and just the whole theme of the whole show was these guys versus these guys. You know what I'm saying? And used to point out, well, these guys only been on these rosters for a month. Why do we care about their hatred for each other? And why is there hatred for each other? What is the build? They just don't have any kind of legitimate build, not one that we can care about. In their main event tonight, when you gave us, Kenny Omega and, and Kota Ibushi and all this other shit. And bro, we have not seen Kenny in weeks. You couldn't even get him onto the show for the build, but you expect us to care about him in the match. You know what I'm saying? It was a nice sentimental moment to see Ospreay go off, because we know he needs neck surgery. I wish him well, by the way. But outside of that, why do we care as much as they want us to care about this match? We just don't. The match was fun. I'm not going to sit here and say I didn't enjoy the match. I thought it had some fun spots, some cool spots. I popped for the goddamn gummy bears being sold like it was death. I mean, just to show I'm not going to sit here and just be 100% realistic, and I can't enjoy the pro wrestling show. I enjoyed the gummy bear spot. I thought it was funny, but at the end of the day, why do we care? It is their job to make us care, and I think they did a poor job at making us care about this pay-per-view before it even got started.
And that is the basis of what the Forbidden Door has become. It started off as a very cool and very unique concept, something that the United States audience wasn't really privy to because we were so closed-minded and so closed off, because before AEW even came into existence, we only had WWE, and we all know how Vince operated. He never played with anybody at all outside of his own little sandbox. He never allowed anybody in. He didn't want to play with anybody. He didn't want to work with any companies. Here comes AEW, and here comes Tony Khan, and they're working with New Japan. Now, this is obviously before AEW and Tony Khan basically bought all of the talent that New Japan had at that time, and they've all kind of come over to the United States and are now working for AEW. They could still very much go and work New Japan, but there's no reason for them to, because they're making triple and quadruple the amount of money with Tony Khan than they were with New Japan. There's no reason for them to continue to break their bodies when Tony Khan is basically paying them to do nothing. So the concept of Forbidden Door was cool. It was unique. It was exciting. Jesse and I attended a couple of Forbidden Doors. We were into the concept. And then New Japan died. And they didn't die in a sense where they're being sold off or they're liquidating talent to other promotions. They don't know how to create stars. They don't. The Will Ospreays and the Okadas and the Naitos and the Zack Sabers and the Tanahashis and everybody, the Young Bucks, the Hangmans, the Omegas, everybody that was over there is now working here in AEW, and they have not created a guy. They have not created the guy to replace Okada, and I don't see them creating the guy to replace Okada in many, many, many years. So you're working with a company that has their own problems, and you're selling it to us as if it's some big fucking deal, the two mega powers coming together, when neither company is a mega power. One company is struggling creatively, and the other company is fucking so lost and so absolutely down in the dumps that they have no real stars at the top of the card that anybody even cares about. You're shilling this show to me as if it really is the true Forbidden Door of professional wrestling. It might have been in 2020, but it's not in 2025. I mean, we really need to start having a discussion about why the Forbidden Door should honestly be a concept that is no longer, and that the door needs to be closed. I did not enjoy this show. And the one reason why I did not enjoy this show is I want to read these matches to you, chat. Outside the Copeland and Christian stuff, which I have grown up watching both of those guys, as has Jesse. So that is just going to get a different feel because it's more sentimental than anything. Hopefully they write the story there and it's a good one. Copeland and Christian wrestled Kip Sabian and Killswitch. One of the better matches on the show. We'll get to that and review the match when we get to it. But then you get into this card, Jesse. Kyle Fletcher and Hiromu Takahashi. Who gives a fuck? Nobody expected Kyle Fletcher to lose the TNT Championship against a non-entity in Hiromu Takahashi. Who gives a shit? Mercedes. Oh, by the way, that match, no story. Mercedes Moné, Alex Windsor, Persephone, and Bozilla. No story. No story. Was it a showcase of new talent that I haven't seen? Sure. Did I find myself enjoying a lot of what Bozilla did? Sure. I never seen Bozilla before. She was a nice little surprise on the show. Outside that, do I care about this? Did I care about Mercedes retaining the championship, which everybody predictably thought she would? No. So, again, predictable. Then we got Zack. Get Jesse.
I think you need to insert another question into each match as you go down the card.
Yeah.
With the first match, we got well, we're gonna come back to Edge and Christian, but with Kyle Fletcher and everything else and Mercedes. So is this a match that I'm excited enough to pay $50 for?
There you go. For the first match, no. The second match, no. Exactly. And Kyle Fletcher, Takahashi, no. So you got three matches at the top of the card on the main show that we are both not willing to pay $50 to see.
No.
So that's three matches right there. Then we get into Zack Saber Jr. and Nigel McGuinness. The only reason why Nigel is there, we're not fucking stupid, is because he's from the United Kingdom and Tony needed a hometown guy to wrestle Zack Saber Jr. for the IWGP Championship. Where's the story? Where's the story? Do you care? Are you emotionally invested in this? I know we're not. Again, would you pay $50 to see this? No, and I actually fell asleep during the fucking match. Who gives a fuck?
Pre-show match.
Pre-show match, boring. Then we got the Hurt Syndicate. The first thing on the show that I actually genuinely was intrigued by, and not because of the fucking in-ring action. It was because I wanted to see how much of the creative input that the Hurt Syndicate has, how much of that was actually going to become a reality. And lo and behold, they did exactly what I was afraid they were going to do, which we'll get into it. And I enjoyed the outcome. I didn't enjoy how we got there. I enjoyed the outcome, but I just found it to be a laughable situation that made everybody in that article and that story that Fightful put out look like absolute fucking dog shit. So that was the first match I was intrigued by and had nothing to do with the in-ring action. Yeah. Would I pay $50 to see it? No, I would not. Okada, yeah, Jesse.
Okay, would I pay $50 for that match? No. If there was a match included on a card of things I'm supposed to give a shit about, I would say yes, because I give a shit about the Hurt Syndicate and what they do.
There you go. That's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
Okada and Swerve Strickland. Where's the story? We've documented this for weeks. That there was no story. Okada, everything he's in, there's no story. Outside Kenny Omega, where most of the story going into Allin was based on their history and Kenny Omega's diverticulitis, there was no story with Okada and Swerve coming in to this particular show for the Unified Championship. There's nothing going on here. No story. Would I pay $50 for this, for a card with this match if I was mostly emotionally invested in everything else and this was on the card? Sure. This was not bad. And the only reason why I did not care for it was because we knew the outcome before we even went into the conclusion. It was predictable. Timeless Toni Storm and Athena. Hated it.
Oh,
I fucking hated it. I'm sorry. Crowd was out. I didn't like it.
Well, the match itself, you tell me we're getting an Athena and Toni Storm match. Yes.
Didn't care for it. Didn't care for it. Didn't care for it.
You like it at all, really?
No, didn't care for it. I did not like the ending. I don't like the way it ended, and I'm not really hopeful that AEW is going to do anything with Athena. So who was going to win? Did everybody anticipate Athena winning the championship? No. Timeless Toni Storm wins. And then we get into Paige and MJF. And the last two matches on the show were probably the two best things on the entire show. And they had their own problems, which we will save for when we get there. What I'm trying to say is this entire show was built by Tony Khan basically utilizing a fucking AI-generated program. That was it. This was so haphazardly put together. This was so sloppily put together. And I said on social media, and I will say this again and again and again, when you have story and you give me a little bit of unpredictability, your entire show is better off for it. Every single match that I mentioned outside of Copeland and Christian did not have a single drop of story up until we got to MJF and Adam Page. This entire show and this entire company operates on in-ring aspect first, and somewhere third or fourth lies the priority of fucking unpredictability and storytelling. Every single show, I will say the same thing. When you have a story, your in-ring product is better. And when you give me a dash of unpredictability, the overall show is going to be better. I don't know how you anticipate fans paying money and enjoying themselves to the fullest extent of their $50 purchase tonight when everybody knows exactly what is going to happen before we see it play out and watch its conclusion. I hate predictable wrestling. And I don't think people hate predictable wrestling for the sake of hating predictable wrestling. It's when it's bad predictable. Like, I don't mind a story that leads to a predictable outcome. But when you give me no story and a very predictable outcome, bro, that is a huge recipe for disaster.
Yeah, man. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. They can't, and it seems that AEW is good for this. They will just leave everything to, well, the match was good. Bro, seriously, that can only take you so far, man. That is such a small portion of the overall project that you're trying to present to people. Well, the wrestling was good. That's great. The wrestling will always be good, but my God, that gets boring, especially if you're still living off of we're going to ask you for $50 every time we do one of these shows platform. It's not enough. You have to put bro, if AEW, if you're happy with this platform right now that you have, and you're happy with these results, let me explain something. Everything that he just said about creativity, about creating intrigue and story, that would amplify the results you're currently seeing to a level that you wouldn't believe. I mean, you have to make us be invested in it. I was sitting outside talking to one of my neighbors last night, and he was asking about what I did and in terms of pro wrestling. He's a big sports guy. But pro wrestling is not his thing. So he couldn't grasp why thousands of people would want to watch a show that's, just on script and everything like that. And I tried explaining to him that if you are invested in the characters and the story that they're telling, that everything else just comes together. You can always appreciate the athleticism. All of these people are phenomenal athletes, man. All of them. We don't have a bunch of slobs walking around tripping over themselves. These guys and girls can all fucking go. But what stands out is the story they're telling and how interesting it is when you make it. Now, when I tried to explain to him what I do with AEW and everything else, it was hard. It was hard to sell that company because if I have this guy turn it on and watch it for a few weeks, I can't convince him that he's going to enjoy the story because it's just not very interesting right now. And I don't know what to tell him, man.
I might be of a different breed, and I might think differently than some of the modern day pro wrestling enthusiasts out there. I very much enjoy a moment, and I see some people in the chat already. Well, WWE's predictable too. Motherfucker, if you're coming in here and you're telling me this as if I don't call them out on that shit as well, I want you to, somebody in the chat, get him out of here. Because I said legitimately, I didn't cover SmackDown this Friday because I took the day off. But the Friday before that, I was complaining about, well, if we do Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes, which is the rumored WWE Championship program that's coming up next, whether it happens in Paris or it happens at WrestlePalooza on September 20th, I said, I don't know how anybody could go into that excited when I think everybody has a conclusion that Cody Rhodes is not losing the WWE title after he just beat John Cena for the title at SummerSlam. I don't like those types of outcomes. But the thing is, WWE will give you at least a little bit of a story and the predictable outcome. AEW gives you no story and a very predictable outcome. So if I was to choose the lesser of two evils there, I'm going to choose WWE because at least they would have taken me on a little bit of a bumpy ride. AEW takes me on the safest route fucking possible, and there's no fucking surroundings or environment that I actually enjoy looking at. So I don't understand why you're coming to me with some WWE garbage when I absolutely call them out on that same exact thing. Here's the thing. I look for a moment. I look for replayability. I look for something that's going to live on after it's over. This is why I don't like some of the content I see in the IWC because a lot of it is not replayable. You watch it, it happens in the moment, and then forget about it. It's lost for all eternity. There's no replay value there. I'm a big music guy, and I'm going to name an album off the top of my head because I'm wearing their fucking hoodie. Alter Bridge, Blackbird. Blackbird, the title track off that album, is the greatest song ever written, in my honest opinion. Do you know how many times a year I go back and listen to that fucking album and that song in particular? It lives on. It is a fucking moment. It is epic. It is something that I cannot live without. And I go back every single year, obviously for sentimental reasons, because I've dedicated that song to my grandpa when he passed. I go back and I listen to it. Metallica's Black Album, Metallica Master of Puppets, Sepultura Arise. These are heavy metal, Slayer, Rain and Blood. These are albums that live on in fucking through the annals of time. You listen to them every single year and they stand the test of time. They never get old. Bro, I swear to God, when this show is over, man, it's forgotten by Wednesday. There's not one single thing on this show that will stand for a memorable moment. Do you know what the memorable moment of this show is going to be? And this is the same exact thing I complained about. Jon Moxley taking a fucking fork from catering and grinding it into Darby Allin's ear in the main event. That is the only thing people are going to be talking about on this 5.5-hour show. And I said, watch what AEW does on September 20th when they got to go head-to-head with WrestlePalooza because WWE stole the fucking headlines. What is AEW going to do? The one thing that they know how to do better than anybody, man. Blood and gore. They're going to have Darby and Jon Moxley jump off a fucking building to steal the headlines away from WWE because of WrestlePalooza, head-to-head with All Out, and on ESPN. And here we are, AEW men, doing the one thing that I knew that they would resort to, and that is blood and gore. That's the one thing that people are going to go back and talk about. That's the one thing that's going to get picked up. And honestly, that is a company that is so far fucking lost and has no vision that they have to hang on such garbage to get ahead and grab a headline, man. This is what I'm talking about. There's no vision, there's no leadership, and this entire fucking show from top to bottom is one unmemorable fucking mess that by the time Dynamite comes, no one's going to go back and watch, nobody cares, and no one's ever going to see this ever again or want to, because that's how it just came off. It came off as unmemorable, and there's no replay value.
Yeah, the memory should be the payoff to the stories we've been given. And what is the big payoff? What is the big creative payoff that we got for this pay-per-view? You watch this show every week, you watch that show every week, Collision, and when we get to our pay-per-view, you're gonna get to the reveal of the story we have been telling. We got nothing. We got no interaction with the Hurt Syndicate and MJF. That has been an ongoing story. We got no real payoff. I was hoping to get Chris Statlander come out and help the Death Riders in the main event. We got no Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander has been courted by Jon Moxley repeatedly. And it would have been, hey, if the Death Riders would have won because a surprising Chris Statlander showed up when nobody expected it to help them get the win, I'd be sitting right here saying, hey, you know what? They've been leaving breadcrumbs to this story, and it paid off at the pay-per-view. Hats off. There, nothing. So you have to follow up with story, bro. You have to we're repeating ourselves here, but it's so fucking true. In-ring work alone is just not enough.
No, it's never going to be enough. They'll never learn their lesson, and I'm going to keep drilling it into everybody's heads, whether you like us or not. I don't really give a shit. Jesse, the biggest takeaway from tonight's show, outside of what we've already discussed, as far as the matches and some of the situations that happened tonight, what was your biggest takeaway from what we got on the 5-hour Forbidden Door show?
Oh, my God, man.
I know there was a lot on this show tonight. I know.
Well, we basically covered it all. I mean, everything but Cope and Christian, and when I guess we could. I don't want to start with that because there was not really a lot to that either. To be honest with you, it is what it is. I mean, there is no character change from Christian Cage. He's still gonna be an asshole, and that's just gonna be the dynamic going forward. We got one super baby face and one borderline tweener at best, and there was no big payoff there. I mean, the match didn't go the way they wanted it to because it was supposed to be Nick Wayne, and he got hurt. So apparently there is someone who won't, take part in the match after he's hurt, as opposed to a couple other guys that were on this show. But so the world title match, let's talk about that for a second.
Yep.
We got MJF, we got Hangman, and the odd thing going into this is how they told us that MJF was cashing in his contract to get his title match. And then seemingly after, I'm guessing they didn't like the online feedback to that, they changed it the next week and then said, well, now he's not cashing in his contract.
Literally went back on everything that they did the week before.
Making the week before meaningless. You could have missed the previous week entirely, caught the following week, and be all caught up when it comes to that storyline. So that just shows that they're not sure what they want to do, and they're flying by the seat of their pants. How can you get your audience to be invested in what you're doing when clearly you're not sure what you want to fucking do? You have to be sure, you have to be confident, and you have to make sure that you sell it. You have to sell it to us, and you're not selling it to us if you're not sure yourselves, because you're changing shit every other week. So we get the match. The match was fine. The match was fine to me. Was it perfect? No, it was not perfect. But you put MJF and Hangman Adam Page in the match, and I'm gonna enjoy it because I enjoy both of these guys. So we get a straight up win, for the most part. Then no cash in by MJF. So meaning, why did they change the rules of the match and everything like that? Clearly, maybe they have something planned they want to do with MJF and that contract going forward. I read somewhere on Twitter a few minutes ago before the stream that Tony Khan is now changing the parameters around that contract on when you can cash it in, and it has to be 1 week notice now.
So it goes from winning it and they have to cash it in that week.
No, you have to give 1 week notice that you're cashing in.
I don't understand why. I don't know why a decision like that needs to be made. Why don't they just like we didn't we discuss this on Wednesday, or maybe it was me and Jason. How about we just do the gauntlet matches, and the winners of those gauntlet matches are made into the number one contenders for the following pay-per-view. So there's no confusion and there's no rewrites on who cashes in and when, and I'll cash in here, but I'm not going to cash in over there. Why don't they just make the match the number one contender for the title that they're choosing at the next pay-per-view?
Yeah, so the coolest thing about the Money in the Bank contract, and the only reason I'm bringing that up, from WWE in comparison, is because, let's be honest, this is the origin of where AEW got this idea from.
Yes.
All right. It's the Money in the Bank cash in. So the cash in and the spontaneity of it is the coolest thing about it. I mean, it only happens once a year, which makes it cool since it's not saturated to be happening, every other week. But the surprise cash in is one of them, I think, and look, at least for me, Seth Rollins cashing in against Brock and Roman at WrestleMania is one of the all-time most memorable WrestleMania moments ever. Ever. Fucking ever. No, not every cash-in goes that smoothly, but the point is the surprise cash-in is the most fun thing about that whole contract. And what I just read today is that they just took the most exciting thing about that contract out. It's gone. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't mean that it can't work, but it feels like it's just like 50% of the fun of it is gone right away. So now you have to announce ahead of time. So there is no surprise cash in anymore right now. I think that means for starting right now with MJF's current contract.
This is what he said. This was apparent. I didn't know this before Jesse even said this. So I looked it up now. This is coming off the media scrum that happened after Forbidden Door with Tony Khan. He explained the reasoning behind the new rule. He stated that the change is being made to add more integrity to the championships and to allow the company to promote its world title matches. He says, I want AEW to be different, and I've been listening to the feedback and the voice of the fans. Sure you are. And I think that people want the championships in the sport of pro wrestling to have integrity. I don't want to have a big ticket championship match that we aren't unable to advertise. And also, I don't really want to necessarily utilize the stipulation here that's being utilized other places. The whole, like Jesse said, the whole concept was born from that other place. Yeah. And the whole concept of the idea before you even came up with it and then brought it to your company was for the shock factor in it or the shock value behind it. Now you're going away from that, and it's just like everything else now. So where's the integrity exactly in a decision like that? All you need to do and all you needed to say was, if you want to have two gauntlet matches that should take place once a year at your biggest show of the year at Allin, both for the men and the women, have the winners of that become the number one contender for their championships, Women's Championship and the AEW Championship, at the next show or at Forbidden Door or All Out or whatever's following Allin. So there's a clear indication there that we know what the matches are going to be, and then you, the booker, and the creative team can start writing a story for the now champion and challenger for the next show. Why do we need 1 week notice? I don't understand that. Who wants to hear? Yeah, I'm cashing in. Bro, just make a fucking number one contender and call it the end of the day. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. It was, look, man, I don't know what he's talking about, integrity of the title. I mean, we're going to go back and start talking about shit that messes up the integrity of the titles. We can go back and talk about a whole lot of stuff. But the whole point of it was it's fun. It's spontaneous. And it only happens once a year. Now, if it happens once in a blue moon, it is not taking away any kind of integrity of anything. It's fucking fun. But when you announce it like this, like you just said, you just have a number one contender.
Bro, do you realize what he did? He fucked up so badly that he turned to the fans and uses the excuse of the fans not liking it because it's too WWE and it's from the other place, that he's now using this as fuel to give us this new change and cite integrity. Bro, half of your fucking titles don't have any integrity. Now you're going to sell me on this having integrity, and you want more integrity for this concept that is clearly lifted from WWE. Bro, just get rid of it. You fucked it up. Own up to your mistakes. Tell us that you fucked up and move on. and just do what I just told you to do, which is the simplest of solutions. Yet he blamed it on everybody but himself. That's exactly what I'm hearing.
I don't like this change at all.
No, it's stupid.
I think it fucking sucks, man. I genuinely enjoy the sitting here and the fantasy booking of what's gonna happen with that contract. Is it gonna get cashed in here? Is it gonna get cashed in there? That was one of the X factors when trying to do a previews and predictions for this show, is that they have this match, but that contract exists and MJF could use it. He could, I mean, who knows? But now that's gone. So I mean,
bro, it's legitimately laughable, bro. My brain is fucking doing laps right now, man. I don't believe what I'm reading here. I don't believe that this was a talking point at the scrum. They are so fucking lazy that they can't even figure out how to have fun on a concept that gives them a fucking get out of jail free card creatively. You could do what you want with it and make it what you want for 12 months, and you fucked it up in 2 weeks. Do you listen? Do you understand what we're hearing from this guy? He blamed everybody but himself and his writing team. What are we doing here?
He did. He really did. That's kind of shitty. You know, he also got away, and maybe WWE did a little bit too. They got away from what the contract should do. It was a catalyst, much like the Royal Rumble used to be. It was a catalyst to help you tag the next main eventer, tag the next mid-card guy, and say, hey, this is going to be the guy one day. Maybe one day soon, within the next year. You won't know when, but this guy is going to be a main eventer. We think this is our next guy.
Yes.
Put it on someone like a Darby Allin. You know what I'm saying? A Brody King. Someone who's not already a main event. You get MJF walking around with this contract who's already a main eventer.
Bro, they gave it to MJF, and they gave him a championship match while holding the contract, when the whole point of him winning is to get a title match.
Yep.
Bro, I don't believe that Jesse came up with 30 seconds of what the fucking concept is truly about, and these people are so fucking clueless, bro. It's all about building the youth and the future. And they gave it to Athena, and bro, what happened to it? Wasted. Back to Ring of Honor she goes, banished to Ring of Honor and that developmental brand. MJF, he's got the contract and had a championship match. First of all, he cashed it in, and then they rescinded that the following week, and he still has the contract. And he's got a world championship match in his back pocket after losing his world championship match tonight.
Athena's contract should have been held by Megan Bain.
Bro, I can't.
Megan Bain should have been holding that goddamn contract. It should have been Penelope Ford running down that goddamn aisle with that contract with Megan Bain coming.
Bro, Megan Bain, Chris Statlander, Tekla, Jamie Hayter. I mean, we could fucking name a fucking circus of women in that company that should have had that contract.
Yep.
But they gave it to Athena to do what? To tease us? Yeah, we'll see you later, honey. Back to Ring of Honor you go. And she tapped out.
It's a low-key failed cash-in.
She tapped out.
Tapped out.
As the heel, she cashed in traditionally like the babyface. Bro, how do you fuck that up? How do you fuck that up, bro? Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Now you got me started, man. I didn't know about this at all. I didn't even read the notes from the scrum because we were going live as it was over. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm worried about my own thing over here. Holy shit, man. That is
somebody tagged me in it.
That is insanely fucking lazy, bro. Holy shit. So that's that. Yeah, she tapped out. Scott Novak. Yeah, she tapped out, bro. She tapped out. Goodbye. Listen, we're going to get into this show. I thank you guys for joining us here on the Forbidden Door post. It was quite the afternoon, man. Show started at 11 o'clock pre-show. Main show starts at 1. We don't get done till 5:30. I told this guy, bro, we're going live at 7:45. I got to take a nap. I'm exhausted. It's been one hell of a weekend. We're burying my grandma tomorrow. It's crazy. So I thank you guys for all the support. I thank this guy here for his love and support. I thank everybody for your support, man. The messages that I got today and all weekend were tremendous. And I want to shout out a couple of notable names in the community that reached out to me personally. Vince Russo, number one. Genuine guy. Checked on me multiple times this weekend. I want to shout out my dude, Mr. Soldier 1 HD. If you guys know Soldier, he plays Call of Duty Warzone's taking a little bit of a break. He's one of my very, very good friends. Known him for years. He called me this weekend. We spoke for half an hour for the first time in several years. He passed along his condolences. I love you, brother. If you're watching, just an incredible dude. Solid monster as always. He checked up on me. Love Jason. He's one of my dear friends, and I owe a lot to him. And I am very lucky to have him as a partner on Tuesday Night Titans and at House of Glory. And believe it or not, shout out to Sean Ross Sapp, who texted me tonight during Forbidden Door and sent his condolences and gave me a couple of situations that he also had to deal with, very similar to mine. So shout out to Sean, Jason, Vince Russo, and my boy, Mr. Soldier 1 HD. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Bro, you and Sapp got a very strange fucking relationship.
Yeah, it is. Listen, man, you know, he didn't have to do that, and I don't know. I'll take it as it is, bro. What am I gonna do? You know?
Yeah.
But thank you guys very much for all your support. We're gonna get into this. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Go follow Jesse on YouTube. He'll be live tomorrow night for the Monday Night Raw live stream. Remember, Raw's tomorrow, 3 p.m. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I may actually just go live later in the night. We will figure it out because like I said, my grandma's funeral is tomorrow, so I don't know what time I'm getting back. I might just get back in time for Raw, but I might want to give myself a little bit of time to kind of decompress from the day. So we'll watch, and then I may go live tomorrow night around normal time. So we'll see what happens there. But Jesse should be live back tomorrow, and make sure you guys go follow him on YouTube and on the X. And make sure you guys go check out all the content coming. We got plenty of content on the channel for you guys to get lost in. And I will. Jesse, did you see this video floating around today from Rampage Jackson's son, bro, at this independent promotion?
I did.
I may be making a video on this tomorrow, bro.
Yeah, I also saw the cops are now investigating.
Yes. Fuck that guy. I mean, that was legitimately, from what I saw, attempted murder, bro. That was one of the worst things I've ever seen, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know the details of it. I don't know the ins and outs as to why it happened, but there is no why to explain what that I did see.
No, so. that was awful. Thoughts and prayers to whoever that individual was. I don't remember his name, but that was just awful. I may have a video on that tomorrow, guys, so look out for that. Make sure you guys.
Nobody knows the victim's name. I don't even know Rampage's son's name.
Raja Jackson, I believe his name is.
Yeah. All I know is that Rampage Jackson's son almost killed somebody. That's the only thing I know.
Sicko Stu is the other guy's name, the victim.
Oh, okay.
So we may be talking about that tomorrow. So keep an eye and an ear out for the content tomorrow. We've had an incredible month of August. So thank you guys for that. Super chats are open. Get them on in. We'll hang out at the end of the show as always. Best way to support the show is via the super chats. And make sure you guys get those thumbs up in. We got 700 likes already. And we're looking at 2,700 people in here, man. Can we get 1,000 likes tonight on the Forbidden Door post? Right here on Off the Scripts. We'll be back with your regularly scheduled content next week as well. Raw, Tuesday Night Titans, Dynamite, and everything that you guys are expected to see. So make sure you guys go do that. I did take off Friday just for a mental break, and nothing really happened on SmackDown, so I figured Friday was the best night to just say, you know what, I'm not streaming. And I did catch up with it. Again, I didn't really miss much outside of John Cena and Logan Paul, but we'll be back all week with your regularly scheduled streams. We start this Forbidden Door off. We're not going over the pre-show because nothing really happened on the pre-show. We will get into the opening match. This was Adam Copeland and Christian Cage teaming up against Luchasaurus, who's now Killswitch, or has been Killswitch. I still call him Luchasaurus. And
why is he still Killswitch?
I don't know.
Christian Cage gave him that name.
I know. You would think that he changed it back. Luchasaurus.
The crowd, they had 18,000 people chanting Luchasaurus, not Killswitch.
No, I know, bro. Hopefully someone's listening to us. Christian gave him that name and forced the name on him. He's his own man now, ain't he?
Yes, he was Christian's slave who had to take on this name. Now he's free from him, fighting against him, and he's still keeping the name. That would be like Piper Niven still carrying around Dewdrop.
Yes. Exactly like that. So, yeah, Butch.
Butch was Sparky, whatever the fuck his name was, man.
Killswitch and Kip Sabian. I'm going to call him Luchasaurus because I do not like the name Killswitch. Mother Wayne, bro. Again, your nightly Mother Wayne status, bro. Did you enjoy Mother Wayne tonight?
Let me tell you something, man. Mama Wayne knows she
bro,
knows.
what was Mother Wayne wearing tonight, man? I mean, holy shit.
Man. Let's just say she brought all of her luggage from the States with her to London, man.
Did she bring anything to wear is what I want to know.
she brought the girls with her, bro. Mama Wayne, she knew what she's doing up there.
Oh, my goodness. Adam Copeland was out first. I love the United Kingdom for the simple fact that they're the only ones who get Adam Copeland's theme music correct. They sang the fuck out of Alter Bridge, man, and that was a beautiful sight to see with 17,000 plus singing along to every lyric and on key, on point with the lyrics. Alter Bridge even tweeted out how awesome it was because it's exactly what you almost hear in an Alter Bridge show, man. Miles, when they play Metalingus live, he does this thing with the crowd and he gets everybody involved. So that was a great moment to start the show. So that might have been Copeland's last time in London. I know they're going back there at the end of the year, but for this type of atmosphere, it was great to start the show off with. Christian Cage came out, and he is every bit of an asshole as he usually is. And then we got the heels out there, and we got this match underway. Jesse, a lot of this was pretty basic, and Christian Cage and Adam Copeland were really on the same page for a lot of this. There was really no tension. There was no miscommunication. There was no back and forth between them arguing. We saw that more so from Luchasaurus and Kip Sabian through half of the match. Luchasaurus was almost being bullied by Kip Sabian, and then he started really getting kind of animated. Luchasaurus was like he was standing up for himself. So I don't know what's going on there. What did you make of the dynamic? Because Copeland and Christian, we thought were going to have some rocky parts in this, and they were good, but it came from the heels here and came from the matriarchy.
Bro, it felt like it was 3-on-1 for a while out there.
Yeah.
We had like a doomsday device with Luchasaurus holding Kip Sabian up for the doomsday device. Like, what the fuck is going on here? He's literally holding his tag team partner up on his shoulders to take the doomsday device from the opposing team. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was about. That was a little silly there.
Why wouldn't he move? Like, what the I didn't get it. I was so taken aback by that. I'm like, you can't be standing there accidentally holding your teammate up for a tag team finishing move. How does that work?
I don't know.
Can someone make that make sense, please?
I don't know. I don't know what was going on there. Copeland, he's on the apron here, and he started the match. So I would have had Christian start the match just to show everybody how loyal he is to this tag team. But Copeland wanted to start the match, and he wanted to get in there. Christian Cage stood on the apron as we started this thing. So we get into the action here, and Copeland, early, he gets in there with Sabian, takes him out with a lariat before tagging in Christian Cage. Double team moves by the old Edge and Christian. Corner punches from Cage on Sabian. And he goes and runs to his corner to tag in Luchasaurus. So we got loud Luchasaurus chants from the England crowd. Cage refused to fight him, so we tagged in Copeland. And this was the only real sense of kind of, cowardism from Cage. He did not want to be in there with his former son. So he tagged in Copeland. And massive thrust kick caught Copeland right in the jaw. That was one of the more brutal parts of the match. Luchasaurus just got that right underneath the jaw on Copeland. He was coming back, low bridge, baseball slide into the barricade. Shayna Wayne got in Copeland's face, and he was clearly distracted. And you could see why. She ran distraction, rather ran enough for Killswitch to use Sabian as a projectile into Copeland. And then they get back into the ring. So Killswitch is in control. And Killswitch, he is now kind of being bullied by Kip Sabian. So there's some really forceful tags. And Luchasaurus is in there. He throws Sabian as a projectile onto Copeland, and he's using him as a weapon. And it's just a really weird dynamic here. So Cage is on the apron. He wanted to tag in, but Shayna pulled him from the apron, and she starts screaming he's going to get what he deserves. So Sabian snapped Cage's neck on the top rope. Copeland was able to fight off Luchasaurus and Sabian in the corner, and he hits that Doomsday device that Jesse just described. It was almost as if Killswitch helped Cope and Christian here. And they did a Doomsday device off of his shoulders with Sabian up on top and take him out. So we get the tag from Christian Cage. He's finally in there. And he gets in there. He runs wild. He threw a couple of punches at Killswitch. He ran into a headbutt. He got knocked down immediately. Cage avoided a long dart, choked both Sabian and Killswitch in the ropes before launching Sabian outside. Cage followed with a crossbody off the post outside onto Killswitch. Powerbomb out of the corner by Copeland. Top rope headbutt from Cage. But Luchasaurus kicked out at 1. Sabian makes the blind tag again as Copeland and Christian hit a double impaler DDT on Luchasaurus. Bryce Remsburg, who's probably the worst referee of all time, could not make the count. Sabian tried an attack, but Cage planted him with a neck breaker. Luchasaurus had Cage in his clutches from the apron, but Copeland charged in and speared him through the ropes out to the floor. Cage tried a spear on Sabian, who hit a pump knee. Tried a kill switch, the move, but he was sent into a pop-up spear from Copeland, and Cage made the cover. 1, 2, 3, and the good old ENC beat the matriarchy here by pinning Sabian. So that was it. They didn't hug at the end of the match. Copeland wanted a hug. They shook hands 2 times, and that's the way they went off. And now they go into All Outs, hopefully, on the same page. Now, Jesse, I am very adamant that I would have saved the hug, not for Cincinnati, because I thought that was a mistake. I would have saved the hug here for tonight. And I thought the hug in this element, if they were going to do this match to get them on the same page, the hug after them getting their first win in so many years as a tag team would have went off better in front of this crowd instead of doing it in front of 1,100 people at a residency in Cincinnati. I would have absolutely done things a little bit different, but them on the same page now, building that trust back, it's more of a Copeland using Christian to help him against FTR and Cage using Copeland against who we got tonight here, minus Nick Wayne. It's working out so far, minus a couple of hiccups. I enjoyed this. I thought this was a decent match.
Yeah, it was fun. It was nothing special, which I didn't expect anything special, really. I'm over this viral moment that we're waiting for with E and C coming together or not coming together, when they coming together. I think that ship is fucking sailed. It's over with. It's done now. Yeah. So I don't care. What are they gonna do? Like make out next time? Whatever. It's fucking done. I'm wondering where this story goes between E and C. So I would think that the dynamic goes of Christian Cage being a borderline prick, Copeland being the baby face, and I think they go for tag team gold. Maybe they get it, maybe they don't. But what I want to see before we're done with this chapter of this overall story is I want to see Copeland turn heel on Christian. I want to see Christian to finally be the one to get dicked over, and then they can come back and revisit this feud one-on-one again with Copeland as the heel before they're all said and done.
So you want to get them together to ultimately turn Copeland into a heel and Christian be the babyface, and then they go one-on-one again?
Yeah, down the road. Yeah, absolutely. Not like tomorrow. Don't get me wrong. But when they're done with their tag team story, I want to see Copeland be the one to turn on Christian. Yeah.
I think this is it, bro. I think this is over.
I think they're done now, or after this tag
I think
team?
this is the end of the road for them. Yeah.
How much time do they get in their deals?
I don't know how much Copeland has left, but I think this is his last hoorah here in AEW. Honestly,
if they get at least a year left, then they have time to pull off what I'm talking about.
How long do you think he's gonna wrestle, bro? Copeland.
I don't think he's gonna be full time ever again. It's gonna be part time. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I want to focus on Luchasaurus here for a little bit. Let me know how you guys feel about this, man. Obviously, the tag team division is a little off. It's not as good as it used to be. It's been a Achilles heel for AEW. Now, the Luchasaurus return vignette that we got on Wednesday, where he was on the operating table and someone injected some serum into him and he shot up there like Frankenstein in the fucking laboratory. You know, there are a couple of people online that tend to think the guy that had injected Luchasaurus in that vignette was one Jack Perry. Now, I don't know if that's legit or not. I don't know how people came to the conclusion outside of they used to be tag team partners, but I'm going to throw this at the wall, and I hope someone in AEW listens to me. Your tag team division needs serious help. And you've lost a lot of solid tag teams, and you got a point right now where you don't have any solid tag teams to have competition with some of the more notable teams in the division, like the Hurt Syndicate. I feel like if you honestly want to inject some momentum into the tag team division, break away Luchasaurus and continue to build up Luchasaurus to get his old name back, to get out of this patriarchy garbage, because he's no longer needed here. He was used as a fucking foil for Nick Wayne, and Nick Wayne got hurt. We don't even know if he's really hurt or if it's just storyline. And he lost. He lost with Kip Sabian. I'm getting Luchasaurus and Jack Perry back, bro, together as Jurassic Express or some other name, and I'm having them be a little bit more edgy, a little bit more darker, a little bit less cartoonish outside of what we saw in year one with his boy, Jack Perry, a boy and his dinosaur. I think that they could be a solid hand in the tag team division instead of bringing back Jack Perry as the scapegoat and having him do what exactly? The whole scapegoat gimmick worked because CM Punk, drove him to be suspended, and CM Punk was driven out of the company. It worked for that, and him coming back as that is not going to be a good deal for him. So I would pair him back up with Luchasaurus, and I would get that team together, man. That is a solid tag team in the division, one that I would very much like to see, and one that could absolutely win the tag team championships and give a solid addition to that division.
So I just watched that video about 3 times right now as you were talking. There is no clear indicator that was Jack Perry.
No.
It did look like his jacket, and if they wanted to make it Jack Perry, it could fit. It is build, and it looked like his jacket. So if that's what they wanted to do, they could make that work. They could make that be a thing, and that's when they were hottest, when it was Jack Perry and Luchasaurus. So why not?
I would totally do it. I don't know if that's the plan or not, or what the plan is for Luchasaurus outside this match, but clearly there's some dissension there between him and the matriarchy. I would get him out of that, give him his name back, give him his tag team partner back, and let them be a solid addition for that tag team division. A division with Jet Speed, Hurt Syndicate, a new and improved Jurassic Express, the Outrunners, Brodido. I mean, listen, man. I mean, the tag team division has been awful for many years now. But if you start adding, solid teams to that division and really give it some love that you used to, we could be looking at a nice revitalization of the tag team division, man. I don't know why they have lacked on tag team action.
I don't know. Maybe because the Young Bucks weren't in the division anymore.
Them too. They still deliver good matches.
Oh, they do. I have not seen a Young Bucks match where they didn't kill it, in a long time. But for some reason they have not been focused on the tag team titles. They have other shit to do, more important things to do, apparently.
We'll get to that in a little bit when we talk about the tag team titles. I have a bad feeling that we may be getting a rematch with Brodido and the Young Bucks for those tag team titles.
A rematch?
Yeah, there wasn't. Didn't they beat them in the tournament?
I don't fucking remember.
Me neither. I think they beat them. Right, Chat? Did the Young Bucks lose to Brodido? Someone correct. I may be wrong. I don't fucking know.
I don't even fucking remember.
I don't know. I thought that did. Anyway, moving on. Kyle Fletcher and Hiromu Takahashi, Jesse. I heard you're a big Takahashi fan.
Oh, boy. I got posters all over my...
Oh, man. TNT,
everywhere, bro.
TNT title on the line here. And this doesn't matter.
Nope.
We're going to skip over this, chat. You want to know why? Because this is absolutely fucking irrelevant to anything that happened on AEW television. Nothing. They did. See, Justin Toner. Thank you, brother. See, yeah, I will. We'll talk about it a little bit later. I don't want to jump in.
Now it's official. Justin Toner said it.
Yeah, Justin Toner. Yeah. Kyle Fletcher retained the TNT title over Hiromu Takahashi. If you cared about this, congratulations, man. You are officially a geek. So I don't care about this. It meant nothing coming in. It means nothing coming out. The only thing that I really hope for here, as far as Kyle Fletcher, is I want him to have a solid story around that TNT title. You know, this is the type of guy, and this is all I'll say here. This is the type of guy that you need to build your company around. He's young enough. He's obviously got a good look, and he's fucking tremendous. Why are you going and approaching his title reign the same way that you've done it with everybody else that's held that title recently? I would expect that they treat Kyle Fletcher a little bit differently than anybody else. The title should be surrounded in story. The title should be given some level of prestige if you decided to put it on one of your young prospects in Kyle Fletcher. I don't know. Bryan Danielson was on commentary tonight, and he said that Kyle Fletcher is going to be a future world heavyweight champion. Sure, in due time. But I'm looking at this, Jesse, and I'm listening to Bryan Danielson. I'm watching Kyle Fletcher, and we're all watching Kyle Fletcher all year. You know, Kyle Fletcher, to me, I don't know how you feel about this, he's going to have to do more for me to actually believe in him as a world champion, because what I see is a great wrestler, but there is a sea of great pro wrestlers on this roster, and it's very difficult for him to stand out in a sea of pro wrestlers that are just as good as him, and he's got no real character. You know what I mean? I don't know what sets him apart from everybody else. What sets from what you see on Kyle Fletcher? What sets him apart from everybody else that Bryan Danielson thinks he's going to be a world champion outside of his in-ring ability?
He's just a complete package, bro. He has the look, he has the promo ability, and he has the intensity. I mean, yeah, he can go in the ring, but I just think he has it all. I he literally has what's commonly called as the it factor, man. He really does have it. What more do you want to see him do? I think if you want to see him do anything different, I would say get him away from the Don Callis family so he can maybe identify himself a little bit more by himself, as opposed to being with this big, huge, mega NWO size faction at this point. But outside of that, what more can he do? I think he's hitting all his points right now. He's killing it.
What is his persona? He's the proto star. What exactly is he?
He's a legend killer. What do you mean? He's literally Randy Orton in AEW.
All right, we're gonna need more than just biting off Randy Orton's younger version than that. Come on. To me, I don't see. I get what you're saying. He definitely has it. He has something, but I don't know if it's it yet. So,
but what do you want to see?
I need more developed character. I need a reason to care. I don't. When I see Kyle Fletcher walk through the curtain, I'm like, that's a great pro wrestler. I don't really care outside that.
I don't think you're looking for anything more from him, but more story to be told, and that should come from creative. I don't think Kyle Fletcher. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna come from creative. I don't think Kyle Fletcher is not doing anything right now for me to not see him as a future world champion. I mean, I think he's killing the game.
He's got Sky Blue. That's all that's needed. Sure. If you wanna go that route, sure. That's all he needs.
You can put him with Sky Blue, sure. I mean, she's forming a triangle right now. We can't separate that.
No.
If she leaves, then it's gonna be. I mean, what? I mean, two. I mean, what are you gonna do? There's no shape.
Listen, bro. This is not school, bro. We're not talking about shapes and sizes and fucking octagons.
They have to be shapes.
No. Pentagons, octagons, trigrams. I don't fucking know.
You can't mess up the shapes, bro. Come on.
Fucking ridiculous. Mercedes Moné. She defended the TBS title against Alex Windsor. Jesse, did you notice anything different about Alex Windsor?
She had a new outfit.
Someone listened, bro.
Woo!
Either she listened or someone listened, bro.
Finally, she had some new gear.
She didn't wear the Ospreay colors tonight, man. She wore red tonight.
There we go. And she still looked great, too, man. See?
There you go.
New gear.
She was in there. Persephone was in there. Not Persephone.
Persephone?
That's the way I see it. Persephone. Persephone. And
pretty goddamn good, too, man.
Who? What?
She looked pretty goddamn good, too.
She was all right. And Godzilla. Bozilla is in there. Bozilla for the TBS title. Bozilla's 21 years old. I didn't know she was that young before entering this match because they didn't tell us who the fuck she was.
Really?
21 years old, bro.
Yeah. That's incredible, man.
She's fucking big. She's a large lady, man. Muscle. She looked like Godzilla out there. I uploaded our clip from Wednesday, Jesse, if you guys recall, on the second channel. Clearly it blew up, and it's got like 25,000 views as I watch it right now. We didn't say anything outlandish in that clip where we talked about what Lance Storm said, Jesse, if you remember, about Mercedes' 27 titles. And you had very nicely put how it is more of a negative than it is a positive, that she's holding 9 belts that don't really mean anything because they are brought to Dynamite and nothing really happens with those championships. We don't know what she's carrying. The commentary team doesn't mention anything. These promotions think that they're doing good by putting the belt on Mercedes, but nobody really is going out there to care about these promotions. It's all ego-driven, and it's all very self-centered. A lot of people were like, man, you guys are negative. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, we don't know what we're talking about to someone who's listening to us who can't understand two intelligent human beings that are having a wrestling discussion. We didn't say anything outlandish about Mercedes. We just think it's fucking a clown show, that she has 9 titles, and the only title that is even remotely relevant is the one that she has around her waist, which is the TBS title, which was defended here tonight. So you guys blew that video up. I thank you.
You want to know what I would have done to really, really have a fucking a big moment on this pay-per-view that would have had the fucking internet world fucking talking?
Mercedes losing?
I would have Mercedes lose, but how? I would have had 8 women from every last single fucking promotion that she's holding that title from, that she beat, all show up at Forbidden Door and interfere in that match and beat the holy hell out of her.
They could have done that if they wanted.
The Forbidden Door. If the door is so forbidden, how come no one from any of these promotions that she's carrying fucking 9 titles from, none of them showed up to defend or try to get some retribution or try to get some get back for her walking around holding all their goddamn titles? None of them showed up.
Why would they? They weren't invited.
The door is forbidden.
Exactly. They didn't have the passcode.
No, nobody gave them the code. I would have had every woman that she beat show up. Actually show up. And A, she takes a loss. It would have been unpredictable. And B, she'd have been well protected because she would have got jumped by 7 or 8 different fucking women.
So this was not bad. I don't want to sit here and say it's the greatest women's match of the entire year, but it wasn't bad. For a match that I did not really have any excitement about coming on in, Alex Windsor to me is just boring. There's just no personality there. To be fair, they haven't really highlighted her personality. Haven't given her a microphone. Haven't got an in-ring promo. We don't know who the fuck she is or what she's about. She just got thrown out there, and all of a sudden she's in a title match. Persephone, I had no idea who the fuck she was. She's from CMLL. And then Bozilla, who they announced on Wednesday, and we had absolutely zero idea who Bozilla was. Now, Bozilla's 21 years old, daughter of former German wrestler Ulf Hermann, and she is a large lady. She is very well put together, and she's very muscular. She is a lot taller than everybody else in this match, a lot more muscular than everybody else in this match, so she had a nice presence here. Mercedes comes on out, and she's got the king and queen's guards walking down the aisle with her, Jesse, and they were carrying all of her championships down the aisle as she wore the TBS title, as she made her entrance. So quite the creative entrance here for Mercedes, where she did not have to carry all the hardware to ringside tonight.
Wow. God forbid she has to carry all those fucking titles. Didn't she just won a new one too, didn't she?
Yeah, she won the Discovery Scottish Wrestling Championship, whatever the fuck it was. Yeah.
So she's literally the Discovery and TBS champion.
She is the champion of the Discovery Channel, yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I heard rumors that she won. I heard rumors she's already eyeing my off the script title, bro.
She is the TLC champion.
I don't know, man, but again, this wasn't that bad. We'll pick it up towards the middle of the match here. Mone is being stalked by Bozilla. Bozilla squashed 2 ladies here with a double back suplex. One of them was Mercedes. Mone is backing into the corner. She tried to sleeper on Bozilla. Persephone tried a monkey flip on Mone, who flew right into the clutches of Bozilla, but was brought to the apron. Mone managed a code breaker. Tried to cross body off the apron. She was caught. Windsor flew in with a senton, and Persephone followed with a tope onto everybody. We go back inside. Big series of pin attempts until Bozilla returned with a bear hug into an overhead throw on Persephone. Everybody is down. Windsor, Mone, and Persephone all took turns connecting on attacks out of the corner as Mone finally got her down, Bozilla, with a meteor. So they all collectively tried to take the biggest one out. Windsor locked on a tree of woe. Mone and Persephone and Bozilla all fought up until Windsor powered up into a huge, big Tower of Doom spot, which is usually what they go to in these multi-person matches. Spike DDT through the ropes on Bozilla. Persephone avoided a leg sweep, resulting in Mone managing a double crucifix into a statement maker, a double statement maker on, I believe it was Persephone and Alex Windsor. So that got broken up. Windsor gets a double sharpshooter on Mercedes and Persephone, but Bozilla took everybody out. She then lit up Windsor with what Danielson said is Vader-like punches, and she stacked Windsor and Persephone and hit a moonsault for 2. So yes, Bozilla hit a moonsault. She wanted a powerbomb on Mone, who spun out and got enough of it with a poison Rana. Windsor was up, hits a fisherman buster on Mone, but Bozilla mowed down Windsor with a suplex and a big clothesline. Bozilla stared at Persephone on the floor, told her to get in the ring, and when she turned around, this allowed Persephone to hit a razor's edge. Sharpshooter applied to Persephone by Windsor, but Mone ran in with a lung blower, and Persephone tried with the razor's edge again on Mercedes, who managed to counter into a flash pin cradle for 1, 2, 3. And that was basically it. Nobody expected Mercedes to lose, so going into this, no story. Coming out of it, no story. Coming out of it, predictable outcome. The big takeaway here was that Bozilla looked pretty impressive. Outside that, very predictable ending for AEW, bro, and Mercedes is undoubtedly beating Jade Cargill's record because if they have already gotten through this show, all they have left is the month of September, man, and we know that that title reign is coming to an end in the middle of October.
Yeah, I enjoyed the showcase of Bozilla. You know, I enjoyed the visuals of Persephone, but outside of that, I didn't really care for the match, man. No, I really did not, to be honest.
No, what is the point? It's just a showcase match for what? A talent that's not on your roster, who's 21 years old, and what does it exactly do for your show? Outside of get this match 10, 15 minutes on the show, and then we move on to the next. How am I supposed to care about this?
No, it held true to the origins of Forbidden Door, but again, like we said earlier in the show, Forbidden Door as a concept is just not doing it. No one really cares. Mercedes
loses it all in to Toni Storm. And then she turns right around to Forbidden Door and she beats not 1, not 2, but 3 women on tonight's show. It's funny how that works out.
Yeah, you know.
9 titles, Mercedes. The one title that she needs to lose is the TBS title, and that's not happening for a very, very, very long time. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Nigel McGuinness. Daniel Garcia was in the corner of Nigel McGuinness. McGuinness apparently won a fatal 4-way on Collision to earn the right here to wrestle Zack Sabre Jr. And when the match was announced, Jesse, I instantaneously fell asleep before we even got to Forbidden Door.
Yeah, I didn't care.
Let me tell you something, man. Zack Sabre Jr. is a great wrestler. I believe it was at a Forbidden Door where he wrestled Bryan Danielson. That was a great fucking match because everybody loves Danielson. And Danielson's one of the greatest ever. I don't know how you ultimately enjoy watching Zack Sabre Jr. wrestle on any given night. Bro, it is the most boring fucking match
So boring.
maybe I have ever sat down to physically watch. Modern day pro wrestling, I don't think there is a more boring wrestler than Zack Sabre Jr. Again, not taking anything away from him. He's fucking great. He does what a lot of people can't do, but man, the fucking matches that he produces, man, they are fucking boring. And then Nigel McGuinness, the only reason why he's there is because this is the United Kingdom. Tony needed a hometown guy. He thought it'd be cool to get Nigel out there in front of his people to ultimately lose a match he was never going to win. So again, why do we care about this coming in? Why do we care about this coming out? What was the point of this? What was it? to see Nigel wrestle for 15 fucking minutes and then on back to commentary you go. Who cares?
I mean, basically, bro, a showcase. I mean, I get it's a local. I mean, again, I feel like this was a pre-show quality match. I mean, just by the name of it, and hometown guy, great. Get the crowd pumped up because Nigel's there, and great. But again, on the main card, I mean, maybe it falls under that Forbidden Door theory, but again, nobody cares about this concept anymore.
No,
and this is boring.
Who cares about this outside the fucking complete marks who live and die by pro wrestling on social media? Nobody cares about this. This is not entertaining for the American audience, bro. I don't know who cares about this. So Garcia was in Nigel's corner. I think everybody kind of made a determination that Danny Garcia was going to turn heel because otherwise, why was he there? I mean, what does he have to do with Nigel? You watch Collision. Does he have some sort of kinship or bond with Nigel McGuinness outside of what we got in that Fatal 4-Way? Is there some sort of relationship going on here?
No, he was on commentary like a couple of times, I think, for a match here and there, but nothing to make me be like, "Ooh, is it gonna happen?" And I'm starting to feel like I don't even know how many times it's happened. I could be way off here, but Daniel Garcia turning is starting to feel like Big Show levels of it happening too much
because they have no fucking direction for him. Imagine signing a contract to stay with the company, bro, promising, him that, yeah, we got direction for you. And this is where he is, man. He's in the corner of Nigel McGuinness against Zack Saber Jr. at Forbidden Door. That's the vision they had for him.
Yeah. Just not feeling it, man.
No, I don't know how you could. I mean, AEW is not even feeling it. How the fuck do you think that's going to translate to us on a random Saturday night? This was boring. As far as I could say, fucking boring. Crowd loved it because everybody loves Nigel there, and Zack Sabre Jr. is from there, so why the fuck not? It is what it is. There was the distraction where Sabre was on the outside, and Danny Garcia got in his face, and he tells him he's waiting for a match with him. You want to be bored again all over again? By all means, do that match. So McGuinness, he hits the Tower of London on Sabre as he gets back into the ring, and he got his feet on the ropes to break the pin count. Both straight pin attempts, European clutch by Sabre, more pin attempts, and Sabre ended up catching Nigel McGuinness with a flash pin and a 1-2-3. Post-match, McGuinness was upset that he lost to Zack Sabre. Nobody was surprised he did. Sabre shook his hand and gave him the ring before showing respect to Johnny Saint, who was sitting on the outside. Tony Schiavone got in the ring for comments as the fans thought something was going to happen here. I thought something was going to happen here. Danny Garcia kind of hung in the background, and then he left the ring, and we didn't see him again. As Tony Schiavone announced that the attendance tonight was 18,992. So no turn for Danny Garcia tonight, and I don't know where they're going to do it. They're going to be in a residency for the next 3 weeks in Philadelphia at the ECW Arena. They may save it for there, but even if he does turn, who cares? Nobody cares about Danny Garcia. Nobody's talking about Danny Garcia, and there's definitely one of those guys in the company, man. You look at Danny Garcia, I can't pinpoint who they drop the ball on more than Danny Garcia, man. It's always Danny Garcia. He's not the most entertaining guy, but the amount of times that they've dropped the ball on him to do something meaningful with him, the more times you do it, the less I'm going to care about him. And we're at a point right now where even he is there on TV, signed a new contract last year. Nobody's going to care about him from this point on, man. It's pretty much a done deal with him.
There's some people you can just put out there in front of that camera and just hit the live button, and they're gonna captivate a crowd and an audience on their own. MJF, you put MJF in the fucking ring, turn the camera on, and you can walk away and you're gonna have something good for TV. But then there's some people who will get over and they'll nail whatever you give them, but you have to give them something good. Daniel Garcia is that guy, because bell to bell, he can fucking go with the best of them. But as far as us caring about what he does, he needs someone to write something interesting for him, because he's not going to captivate the crowd all on his own. He does not have that kind of charisma.
No, he does. He never did. They dropped the ball with him in the Jericho Appreciation Society. They had that little thing that was going on with the Blackpool Combat Club at the time. That he was fucking over in that situation. They dropped the ball, never followed through. Then he wrestles MJF in a really nice feud Well, MJF was doing his thing with Will Ospreay, and Danny Garcia wanted a shot at the International Championship at the time. MJF rebranded it as the American title. He showed up and cost MJF the match against Ospreay at Forbidden Door last year. There was something there. I mean, you're in a fucking blood feud with MJF, and you still can't get over. And then he signs a new contract, bro, and upon signing, they give him the TNT title. Bro, it was as uneventful as anything I've ever seen in pro wrestling all year, bro. 3 different times, man. 3 strikes and you're out. Danny Garcia was better off going to NXT. Tell me when I'm telling lies. I don't know why he ended up staying. He's much better off going over there, and I honestly think he'd be a lot further than he is now.
Yeah, I can't disagree, because right now he just kind of like lost in limbo right now.
Definitely lost. Tekla, Jesse. She was on the main show.
There you go, man.
My girl Tekla, bro. She was on the pre-show. Supposedly she was battling with Queen Aminata. I don't know what happened here. Apparently it was Megan Bayne in the Triangle of Madness against Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, Queen Aminata, and Harley Cameron on the pre-show. And apparently Tekla and Queen Aminata were brawling backstage for 2 hours, I guess. I don't know what the fuck was going on. So they make their way from backstage, and they're brawling through the 2 hours of the show, I guess, and they make their way out to the aisleway. Aminata hits her with a headbutt, and she stands tall until Sky Blue and Julia come out, the rest of the Triangle of Madness, and making a 3-on-1 attack. Tekla does her spider pose, and then all of a sudden, Jesse, we have the return of Jamie Hayter. She comes out, she gets a nice reaction. She charges out as Sky Blue and Julia Hart get taken out. Tekla dodges, and the Triangle of Madness bails with Jamie Hayter and Queen Aminata standing tall in the aisleway, bro. So she's back, and the one that we saw her with last was Tekla, and now she's back to seek revenge on Tekla. So there is some connection there. But it's nice to see Jamie Hayter back, man. I don't know if she's going to get involved with this Triangle of Madness nonsense, but she's back on TV, man. She returns on the main show this year in the United Kingdom instead of coming back at the fucking pre-show at All In a couple of years ago.
Look at that. And it looks like she was close to coming back on the pre-show, because the feud that she got interjected in happened on the pre-show.
I know.
So it was close to happening on the pre-show again. So look, it's not the most ideal return for Jamie Hayter. I would have done something a little bit different. I'm not too sure why 3 women are running away from one. But look, we get Jamie Hayter back, and that's what's important. And the return happened on the main show. So I'm just going to count the wins where I can take them. She's still dressed like a 1970s sitcom star for some reason. But again, I'll take the wins where I can get them. Jamie Hayter's back on TV, and that's what's important.
Yeah, she's back. She sounds like, Jesse, it looks like she's going to be a Collision cowgirl on Saturday night.
Oh, boy.
You know, here's what it is. Hey, listen, she's back. We like her. We want more for her. So hopefully something materializes out of it. And they did bring her back, and it does make sense she goes after Tekla. I didn't really understand Tekla's debut and what happened there. It just seemed very convoluted and very fucked up, and they botched it. But she's back to get revenge on Tekla, so we'll see what happens with that. But she did return in front of the 18,000 plus at the O2. Hurt Syndicate. Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin without MVP tonight. What happened to MVP? Where was he? I don't know. No mention of MVP.
Can't travel?
I don't know. FTR, Dax and Cash with Stokely and Brodido, Jesse. Brody King and Bandito.
Stop saying that.
Brodido.
Wait. No, stop saying that. Wasn't he absent for the last show in Canada?
I don't know. I don't remember.
It sounds familiar. I could be way off. I could be way fucking off. But hey,
Chad, is there any reason why MVP didn't make the show tonight? I don't know.
No, he could have had personal fucking things to do.
Who knows? Who knows? This was the first match outside the Copeland Christian stuff. I really wasn't looking forward to that per se, but it's always nice to see them together and see how that story's developing. But this was the first thing on the show tonight I was genuinely curious about, and all for the wrong reasons. It's not because I was excited about the match. I was excited to see how they would play this out. And I mean that in a creative sense, what the ending was going to be. Now, FTR and Brodido were the finals of this Eliminator Tag Team Tournament that we saw play out over several weeks on AEW television, on both Dynamite and Collision. The finals happened on Wednesday's Dynamite, and it went to a 30-minute time limit draw. So we wasted weeks of television to ultimately get no winner. And we all looked at that as, okay, I see that they're really kind of making Sean Ross Sapp's report on Fightful kind of true as far as the creative input or creative control aspect of what MVP said in that report. Now, I looked at this, Jesse, and I said to myself, FTR is the likely winner here because we have Cope and Christian, and that's the next stage for Cope and Christian. So Cope helped Christian beat his boys tonight in the Patriarchy, and now up next is FTR in Toronto. Then we got Brodido. I think Brodido's the sentimental favorite because everybody really likes Brody King, and they want to see him get a nice foothold for himself on the main roster here and win some tag team gold. He doesn't have Buddy Matthews. He's not going to be back for a while. It's the tag team with Brodido seems to be working out. I think everybody wants to see Brody get what he deserves because he's been killing it lately. And then we got the Hurt Syndicate, who, you know, for lack of a better word, is fucking the most dominant tag team in all of AEW, and they're fucking cool. And they're very, very they got that presence. I'm looking back at this and I said, FTR, we got something other than FTR. The way that they went about it is very laughable. And I'll start here. Brodido won the tag team championships. I don't mind that they won the tag team championships. A, because of what we discussed so far. This entire show has been very predictable. This was a very unpredictable outcome. I did not expect them, I don't think you did either, to win the tag team championships. And number two, I'm looking back at it. If we did put the titles on FTR, it would be reckless to put the titles on FTR, only to take the titles off FTR, to put them on Cope and Christian in Toronto, which you know Tony Khan would have been very tempted to do. So all in all, looking back at Brody and Bandito winning, I don't have a problem with them winning the tag team championships. Let's start there. What'd you think of the outcome?
It's fine. I mean, if they plan on actually continuing this Brody King and Bandito tag team, all right, then this was fine. I mean, the ultimate goal is to get the titles off of the Hurt Syndicate, which I'm all for, because it opens these guys up to do bigger and better things. So I figured it'd be FTR, but like you said, this was a little bit on the more unpredictable outside as far as outcomes go. So you put it on these two. Now we gotta wait and see if this is just a hot shot transitional type deal, or if they're gonna actually have these guys run the division for a significant amount of time.
Yeah, I don't know what the plan is for Brody and Bandito. I don't know if the Hurt Syndicate are going to lobby for a rematch because they theoretically weren't pinned. So we could see the Hurt Syndicate versus Bandito and Brody King again, 2-on-2 regular for the tag team championships. The thing is here, this all ended up being very convoluted. And they made it into a triple threat match because they went 30 minutes on Wednesday and we got no winner. Wednesday, it ended up being in the graphic that this was going to be an elimination match. They ended up taking that stipulation away. I don't know if their PR team on social media made a fucking mistake or was a typo in the graphic. It was an elimination match on Wednesday because we called it out on Wednesday. We saw it on Wednesday. And then today, before the show starts, I see nothing in regards to an elimination match. So they said something on Wednesday and then they took it back again tonight. I don't know why they did that. I don't know if it was a genuine mistake or if they had more plans that changed creatively because the Hurt Syndicate didn't want it that way. So we'll pick it up here towards when everything started really going down. So Lashley and Benjamin, they are taking out everybody. And there was a long time in between we got Hurt Syndicate and FTR in the ring together. We didn't get a lot at all of FTR and the Hurt Syndicate going back and forth. This was a lot of Hurt Syndicate and Bandito, Brody King. FTR and Bandito, Brody King. If you went back and watched the match, you got very, very little of the Hurt Syndicate and FTR. I don't know what the fuck the problem is here creatively. I don't know why they couldn't really kind of mix it up a little bit more. Two of the more premier tag teams in AEW trying to stay away from each other. I don't understand that, which is just very bizarre to me. So they're in there, they're throwing everybody around, and Lashley hits a spear on Brody King. All of a sudden, we get 3 masked men wearing New Japan Pro Wrestling tracksuits, and they start attacking Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. Let me backtrack just a little bit. This match started off as a tornado tag team match, and Excalibur said that there was no tags. All of a sudden, we see Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley tag in. I'm like, I thought we were getting a tornado tag team match. So I don't know. I don't know what had happened with the rules here or the stipulations. There was a lot of miscommunication here. Excalibur did a very poor job of telling us exactly what the fuck was going on here. So it ended up being a traditional triple threat tag team match with tags. It wasn't a tornado tag. So the New Japan guys are out there, tracksuits, and they start attacking Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. They brawl up the aisleway. Stokely slid a chair into Dax, who hit Brody King in the fucking head with it. No blocking, just an old school chair shot to the head. All of a sudden, Ricochet and the Gates of Agony reveal that they were the ones underneath the ski masks and wearing the New Japan tracksuits. So they got... What happened?
Question.
Yeah.
What was the purpose of wearing the ski mask and wearing New Japan tracksuits?
I have no idea. But it did lead to them getting zero reaction.
I mean, if they were going to do the beat down and then leave and then keep their identity a secret, then okay. Then I guess we got to tune in later to find out who it was. But they revealed themselves 30 seconds later.
Well, yes, it not only fucked up the intrigue of who they may be, and this company doesn't like building on intrigue. That would have been a much better way to go about it, yes. Plus, them attacking the Hurt Syndicate in the aisleway and then revealing who they were, they got zero reaction. So the initial beatdown got no reaction because nobody knew who the fuck they were. And then when they revealed to be Ricochet and the Gates of Agony, the crowd was like, oh, it's these guys? Who gives a fuck?
Oh, whatever.
Nobody cares. 3 losers. So they're there. They get zero reaction. Danielson said MJF. And this is the part that really bugged me the most out of everything. Why is Bryan Danielson trying to tell us what may or may not be going on? Isn't Excalibur the fucking lead guy out here? Shouldn't he be the one leading the broadcast and telling us exactly what may be going on here? Why do we need Bryan Danielson, who is there simply as a guest? Because Taz can't be there because he can't travel with his knees. Why is Danielson the one to fill us in here? He says maybe MJF had an alliance with them last week where he could be behind this because we last saw him with the Gates of Agony and Ricochet. It makes sense. But I would have to question, Jesse, and this is what we mentioned on Wednesday. What is Ricochet and the Gates of Agony getting out of this relationship with MJF? They did for MJF, and they didn't get anything back from MJF. And here again, they did for MJF. What is their payment for working with MJF? What is their payment for taking out the Hurt Syndicate here? Exactly. Nothing.
Maybe they get to wear the Dynamite Diamond ring sometimes.
Sure, to feel important. Maybe they get to dress in MJF's fancy suits and wear the scarf. Who knows?
Maybe they, bro. I'm still trying to figure out why they came out in New Japan jumpsuits and masks.
Well, that's mistake number one. How is this going to be in favor of working with MJF? Sure, MJF got bounced from the Hurt Syndicate. There's an in there. But again, the big question is, what do they get out of it? Is this a new group that we're operating with? It came about randomly all of a sudden because of their dislike for Mark Briscoe. Now their dislike kind of bleeds into the Hurt Syndicate. Ricochet and the Hurt Syndicate haven't had TV time, Jesse, in how many months? 8, 9 months now?
Yeah, something like
that. When was the last time that they crossed paths? So the only in here, the only explanation would be is if it was set up by MJF, which maybe on Wednesday we'll find out that Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin pieced the puzzle together and realize that it's MJF doing this and I guess manipulating Ricochet and the Gates of Agony. So they come out and we don't see the Hurt Syndicate again. So Brodido avoided a powerplex by FTR, hit one of their own, and all of a sudden, Brody King does this monkey flip out of the corner with Bandito, and it landed so poorly to a point where it looked fucked up on landing, and he's supposed to go for the cover all in one shot. So imagine Brody King doing a monkey flip to his own partner And then the impact of him is to flip over and land on one of the guys in FTR to make the pin, a 450 pin. He fucked it up. Bandito made the cover, lost the cover, and we got an initial pop for the 3, but it had to be redone because he missed the cover. He was off. And then all of a sudden, Dax is being covered. Cash is trying to come in to save the redo. This all got so botched. It looked fucking terrible when it played out. But we did get the redo count. Bandito covered Dax. 1, 2, 3. Brody King and Bandito win the tag team championships. And they are the new tag team champions by pinning FTR and not the Hurt Syndicate, because the Hurt Syndicate were run off by the Gates of Agony and Ricochet. Jesse, at the end of this, everything that Sap put in that report about MVP and the creative input / creative control aspect that supposedly the Hurt Syndicate have, bro, you look back. I was watching this with a microscope, man. They barely had any interaction with FTR. It was mostly just them and Brodido. But then they get taken out by Ricochet and the Gates of Agony, and Brodido are left to pin FTR and the Hurt Syndicate. I think we all kind of assumed coming in they weren't going to be pinned to lose the tag team titles. Man, looking back at that report and seeing how they lost the tag team championships and how they did not factor into the outcome, they didn't mix it up really with FTR. Man, it makes everybody look bad, man. It really makes Sap's reporting look very valid, and it makes the creative input in AEW really stick out like a sore thumb, man. It makes everybody look bad. And that was fucking embarrassing to see that they put this match together for the reasons that I said on Wednesday, that Brody and Bandito with FTR went 30 minutes to simply get another team involved in this thing so that the Hurt Syndicate didn't have to quote-unquote lose by taking the pin, man. That's fucking embarrassing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, so it could have been done. It could have been done better. I mean, just the ending alone was not great. I mean, it was just very cringe. I mean, it was a clear and obvious mistake. But look, that shit happens, okay? It shit happens. It happens. What are you gonna do about it? The reports, along with what we got in today's show, I mean, again, it's just not a good look. I mean, you got to ask yourself, why do we have anyone that, first off, anyone at all, but second off, someone that literally just got into the company less than a year ago, walking around dictating what they are and are not going to do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what are we doing here? Are we out for ourselves? Are we out to make a better product as a team? What are we fucking doing here? Why are we going around dictating who we like, who we don't like, who we're gonna lose to? What are we gonna do? I mean, what are we in the 80s, man? Come on, bro.
Listen, bro, there was a moment in this match where Bobby Lashley and Brody King had a stare down, and the fans fucking erupted, man. I look at that, and yes, it's exciting to see two guys. Brody actually is bigger than Bobby Lashley, to be honest with you. The crowd erupted from that stare down, bro. And that's the only part of the entire situation I agree with MVP on. Like, I understand that he is looking to protect his boys and looking to protect their character and their gimmick and their aura. I get it. I get the fact that he wants Bobby Lashley to be in the ring with guys the size of Brody King and lose to guys legitimate that are bigger than Bobby Lashley because it looks believable. He doesn't want Bobby Lashley losing to guys like Speedball and Kevin Knight and fucking Cash Wheeler. I get that aspect of it, and I don't blame him at all. But like you said, they are walking in here, and I'm sure they're making a fucking hefty price tag to wrestle for AEW. But at the end of the day, it's all in the lap creatively of Tony Khan. Tony dictates what he wants and what he doesn't want. Why he is allowing MVP and the Hurt Syndicate to dictate where the creative goes is fucking laughable, and it makes Tony look bad. And in this outcome, it makes MVP and the Hurt Syndicate look bad because the report rang true. It really shows that they are there for the money, and they're not there to overall help the health of AEW and push for a better product. It's all about themselves. And at that point, bro, I'm sorry, I can't really sit here and agree with that. I feel like those are the types of guys, no matter how good they are, those are the types of guys you don't want on television because they're all for themselves.
Agreed. I mean, unfortunately, agreed. I want these guys here. I enjoy them here. I enjoy what they do. But if everyone walked around with that kind of attitude, bro, we would never get fucking anywhere.
No.
Everyone would be complaining all the goddamn time. Look, there are not too many guys bigger than Bobby Lashley. So by his fucking theory, by that logic, he should never be losing. I can hand count, on one hand how many people are equal to or bigger than Bobby Lashley. So is that is that the assumption that they had when they came in, that, well, we're only gonna lose to guys that's bigger than Lashley? That's it. I mean, look, bro, it's a scripted television show. Shit happens, fuckery happens. You know, I mean, you might lose for this reason, maybe that reason. I don't care how big you are. You're not the best fucking wrestler. You're a big guy. You're not a better wrestler than Bryan Danielson. Okay. So if I'm going to script something to put you out there to lose to Bryan Danielson, then that's just what the fuck you're doing. I don't understand all this. Well, I don't want to lose to this. I don't want to lose to that bullshit. I mean, you're out there to if you're getting paid and you're being used in a meaningful way on television, in my opinion, shut the fuck up.
I agree.
Shut up. You're being used in a meaningful way. You're not being embarrassed. You're getting paid. You're making your dates. You're getting your merch. Shut the fuck up. Seriously, there are people who can't get on TV and you're complaining about who you want to and not want to lose to. Come on, man. They've been booked very strong, the Hurt Syndicate. They've been booked very fucking strong since they gotten here. I don't understand all this. Well, now I don't want to lose to this bullshit. Man, come on, man.
I don't know why we are living in a timeline where the characters that you see on television, the talent is dictating what happens and what doesn't happen. I don't get it. MVP, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin. I don't know what the relationship there is with MJF. But again, that's another example. MJF, how many weeks, Jesse? 6 or 7 weeks it took for us to get television to get this guy into the Hurt Syndicate, and it took 3 weeks to kick him out. Like, why didn't you want him when there was so much left on the bone there with MJF in the Hurt Syndicate? And we don't have that story playing out. We may have it being played out here with Ricochet and the Gates of Agony interfering, but where are we going with that? I mean, everything should just be so seamless and everything should just be just nice and packaged together. And meanwhile, they're off doing this and MJF is off doing the world title thing and they've split now with no fucking rhyme or reason. I don't understand why we're living in a timeline where things are being dictated by the talent. I just don't stand for that. And the way you look at this, there's tag teams in this division that are much better than the Hurt Syndicate. I'm sorry. Brody King and Bandito. Brody King on any given night could pin Bobby Lashley and it would be legit. I just don't see the problem in losing to FTR. I don't. Like, I don't understand where you look through the annals of history where a small guy beating a big guy is a fucking problem. As long as the story is there, that helps benefit everybody. Story matters in this context. Bobby Lashley could lose, but as long as he looks good in defeat, what's the problem?
What's the problem? What is the fucking problem? You can't go unfucking defeated. Bobby Lashley's bigger than MJF. I have no problem booking a MJF versus Bobby Lashley.
And MJF beating him. I find no problem in that.
None. None at all. So I don't understand all of this protectiveness of, I mean, come on, man. I get what's being said to an extent. Nobody wants to be made to look like an idiot or trash or stuck in catering. You don't want to be, booked into oblivion, but at the same time, you can't be going around talking about who you should and shouldn't be losing to because of your size. By that logic, you just be undefeated forever.
But, bro, he knew exactly where he was coming, and he knew he was going to dwarf 99% of the roster. What did he think? He was going to go undefeated until his contract expired?
That's what it sounds like. If what we're hearing is true and it appears to be true, I don't understand that logic, man. Bobby Lashley has been booked very well, and he could be world champion tomorrow, and no one would blink an eye. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand all of this. We can't do this. We can't do that bullshit. There are people smaller than you that could beat you. It's a scripted wrestling television show. If we're going to put you guys out there in a shoot fight, I'm going to put all my money on Lashley. That guy will probably whoop everybody's asses. But that's not what we're booking here. That's not what we're doing.
Which is why I don't believe the part of the report that said they wanted to drop the titles or didn't mind to drop the titles to the Outrunners or Private Party or guys like that. Like, bro, you buried them already. Like, what's the difference between the Outrunners and FTR? The Outrunners actually look older than FTR do.
Yeah.
And we know they're not.
FTR is a legitimate, bona fide tag team. Veterans who knows their way around a ring as far as a tag team match goes. It would make sense that you get beaten by guys who've been tag teaming for fucking 2 decades and you've been tag teaming for less than a year with this guy. I mean, come on, man.
I have a feeling now that Brodido won the titles. Brody King and Bandito are now the new tag team champions. I don't know if the Hurt Syndicate are going to lobby for a rematch because they weren't pinned. That's one direction. Number two, we talked about for weeks. Jesse's mentioned it more than I have. Where are the Young Bucks in the tag team title picture? Do they not want their titles back? I honestly feel like we may be getting a Brodido versus Young Bucks rematch for the tag team championships, and I think I don't want to say this is the direction. I have a feeling, this is just me speaking for me, I genuinely have a feeling that when we get to a tag team title, Jesse, situation, because I thought it was going to happen with FTR and Cope and Christian. It's not. I'm glad it's not, because it would look ridiculous to put the titles on FTR and then take them off FTR in 1 month. So I'm glad they didn't do that. When Cope and Christian are ready to go for the tag team championships, and you know that they will, I have a feeling it's going to be the Young Bucks, and I think they're going to be the champions, and I think Cope and Christian are going to take the titles off the Young Bucks, and that's the direction that they're going to go in. Because I also don't see the Hurt Syndicate winning the titles back only to drop them to Edge and Christian. I just don't see that happening. I think they would absolutely axe that idea and not want to go along with that. I think the Young Bucks are going to win the titles, and I think Edge and Christian takes them off the Young Bucks.
Probably. It's definitely high time that the Young Bucks got back into the tag team title picture and stopped just hovering around the main event scene for some reason or another. They're just kind of a fish out of water in that regard. They're supposed to be elevating the tag division. That was literally a part of their mantra when they started this company. What are they doing now? I mean, come on. I mean, it's the tag team division. Let's be honest. It sucks. It's in shambles right now. And the guys who told us that tag team wrestling was going to take, front and center in this company are off doing something else than trying to elevate the tag team division. So we need to get back to the basics here.
I agree. Moving on. We got Swerve and Okada for the Unified Championship. There is no outside interference here. This is Continental Classic rules. So no outside interference. The news coming in here, and they really tried to play it up to build this match around this aspect, was the knee issue of Swerve Strickland. Now, it's been coming out in the last couple of days that Swerve is legitimately injured and that he's got a torn meniscus or partially torn meniscus that he's been working with. Honestly, I was surprised to hear this since 2019 when he was in the WWE Performance Center. Now, clearly, you would not notice a fucking thing off with Swerve Strickland working with a torn meniscus because he's had some fucking unbelievable matches with this supposed injury. So he's either Superman or it's not as bad as everybody's making it out to be. But what we got tonight, Jesse, is, and this is the first instance of them losing a top guy, Swerve Strickland was written off television tonight at the end of this match, and that was the biggest talking point in this entire thing. Let me build up to it, and then I'll give the floor to you. This match was fine. I guess I'll ask you this question right now before we get to the ending of the match. As far as the match itself, was this something that you were entertained by?
Look, it was fine. All right. Did it like break the Meltzer scale? No. But it was fine. It was fun. It was fine for a pay-per-view. I would enjoy seeing a Swerve and Okada match any day of the week. Especially, this is our first time seeing it too. So yeah, I'm all about it. But I understand why it wasn't better. Especially with this guy working with a fucking bum knee, man. So let's cut the guy some slack. So for everything, for what it's worth, everything pound for pound, it was perfectly fine. I enjoyed it.
The only problem I had with this was that coming in, there was no story. It was just the knee, and they made the knee an issue last week when Okada mentioned the knee, and then they started brawling in the aisleway. And coming out of it, we're losing Swerve on television. He's not going to be on television for X amount of months. And Okada, I don't find myself to be entertained by Okada on television. I think he's fucking boring. I think the Continental / Unified Championship is a complete waste of hardware. I'm not interested in anything that they do. Plus, I hate the rules of the match because this particular title, you do no DQ, no interference. It's just straight one-on-one. There's got to be a winner and there's got to be a loser. Why not do that for every fucking match? I can't stand that this title has its own specific set of rules. Meanwhile, that should be the way going forward for everything. But we're not there. This was a fine match, and it was all around Swerve's knee. So we'll pick it up towards the end here. Strickland gets a series of short arm lariats on Okada. He avoids a Rainmaker. Okada hits a dropkick. A third Rainmaker here is countered after two failed. This time, Strickland hits a pop-up power slam on the third Rainmaker attempt. Swerve stomp delivered, but he comes down, he hurts the knee. Strickland comes up clutching his bad leg. Okada rolled out to the apron, cut off Swerve in the corner, hits a knee breaker on the top turnbuckle. Both guys miss big shots until Strickland managed to fire off a house call kick out of nowhere. He called for one more. Okada ducked it, hits a Rainmaker finally. 1, 2, 3, and he pins Swerve Strickland to retain the Unified Championship. Obviously, the knee's an issue here. Post-match, Okada trapped Swerve's bad knee in between the ring post and the steel steps, and he smashed the steps into Swerve's knee repeatedly, and he obviously at this point was being written off television because they're focusing now the post-match on the knee. Prince Nana runs out with a steel pipe to hold off Okada and Don Callis, who escaped. As Nana was attending to Strickland, who was trapped in between the ring and the steel steps, all of a sudden, we see, Jesse, the return, finally, of Wardlow. Wardlow appeared behind Prince Nana, laid him out. Swerve he can't move anywhere because of the knee. He's forced to watch Nana get destroyed by Wardlow. 3 security guards try to come down and take out Wardlow. He takes them all out. He gave one of them an F5 and a powerbomb. Bryan Danielson said that this is an insurance policy for Don Callis. I was hoping that was not the case. Wardlow took out Nana, all these security guards. He's doing these facial reactions in front of Swerve as Swerve is forced to watch Nana get beat down. He leaves the ring. He walks up the aisleway where Okada and Don Callis are. The rest of the Don Callis family come out. And apparently, Jesse, Wardlow is now a new member of the Don Callis family. I'll let you start us off here, man. I do not. Hey, first of all, I'm happy to see Wardlow back on television. Number 2, I do not like that decision.
All right, so I'm happy Wardlow's back. It's good that he's back. I don't know why he's gone so long.
He looks great, by the way. He looks fucking 10 times bigger than the last time we saw him.
He definitely looks bigger, for sure. I'm not sure where this Don Callis family thing is going. There's just and we were complaining that there was too many people in a Don Callis family like 2 members ago, and they're still adding people. It's broaching on NWO versus WCW type levels. There is just too many people in that group. Every time someone in that group comes out, we're gonna have to see Don Callis. I like Don Callis. I think he's fantastic at what he does, but it is possible to get into overkill of Don Callis. We're gonna see him pretty much in 90% of the show because there's so many different people in his group. If they all have individual matches, we got Don Callis coming out with all of them. We got Don Callis cutting promos for all of them. Look, he's great at what he does, but his group is officially absolutely oversaturated at this point. There's too many people in the group. A few would be fine, but let me ask you this. What is Josh Alexander benefiting from being in that goddamn group?
Bro, Josh Alexander hasn't made a lick of an impact or a lick of a difference since joining AEW.
Nothing. Hechicero, what benefit is he getting?
Nobody knows who he is. He's an outsider on American television, and nobody gives a fuck.
Lance Archer.
An absolute loser.
Doing nothing. It's just too many fucking people in the group. So now the people who could actually benefit from
Rocky Romero. You didn't even mention Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta. They're part of the Don Callis family too.
Why? That's 4 guys that don't need to be in that group. Right there, alone. Someone like Kyle Fletcher. He needs to be in the group. You know what I'm saying? Wardlow. I would say he needs to be in the group. Wardlow could definitely use a mouthpiece, and they can do something, some interesting shit with Wardlow coming back. But look, man, there's too many people there. It's oversaturated, and now it's bringing the group down as a whole. So now the people that would normally benefit from it are probably not benefiting as much because there's so many fucking people in the group, man.
Jesse, there's a time and a place for things to happen. right? The whole Don Callis family, listen, I don't mean this in a negative way because, A, I think Don Callis is a great character. He genuinely gets heat, and he's one of the few guys that gets genuine heat every time he comes out. So I appreciate that as a viewer. Number 2, Kyle Fletcher's great, and Konosuke Takeshita is fucking phenomenal. It's one of the best wrestlers on the planet. I love everything about Takeshita. If they wanted to include Wardlow in this, the optics of the Don Callis family are exactly the way that it should be, the way you laid it out. There's way too many people for the group to be taken seriously. You know, a lot of people think the bigger the faction, the more numbers game in the faction, the greater the faction's going to be. No, it's not. It actually makes it look fucking ridiculous, and it makes it look like a fucking circus, honestly. If you wanted Wardlow in the Don Callis family, we should have taken the proper steps to get Takeshita to a point where he's on the verge of leaving the Don Callis family, and some story building up there to a point where Takeshita's eyeing Okada, who's in the Don Callis family, and he's got the Unified Championship, something that Takeshita wants, and there's tension going on there, and Don Callis is the first guy to see that and actively has Takeshita replaced by Wardlow. Why do we have these guys in the group all together before we start to see that play out? Your first order of business should have been to get Takeshita out of the group and replace him with someone like Wardlow, instead of bringing Wardlow into the group with Takeshita already involved, and we haven't seen that story play out yet. Now it's just fucking outlandish that Wardlow's in there. Secondly, why does Wardlow need a mouthpiece? From the last time that I heard, Wardlow's a very good promo on his own. You want to bring someone back with Wardlow and the potential of Wardlow to put him with Don Callis. Meanwhile, the Don Callis family, again, I don't mean this in any disrespect, it feels like a group that you pair together. You bring someone in, you put them in the Don Callis family, and it speaks to me, we don't got a real direction for them, so let's put them in the Don Callis family so we pretend like there's direction for them. It's just a landfill of talented guys with no direction outside of Takeshita. So I don't know why he's needed in this group when he's much more better off on his own. This is the Wardlow we want to see back on his own. He's got so much potential. Why does he got to be fucking bogged down by the Don Callis family when we all know that everybody else in the Don Callis family isn't really lighting the world on fire? Do you really want to make Wardlow feel insignificant already? Because that's the way I see it when I watch the Don Callis family.
Yep. It's only going to get harder and harder to book this faction with so many fucking people in it. And this is something they're going to, they got to deal with this shit now. Now you get everybody in that group, and now I'm wondering how you're going to get them TV time, how you're going to get them anything else significant other than just being henchmen. Let me ask you this: how do you get Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta and Hechicero out of the faction, turn them babyface, and have the people care about them? Who's going to care about Rocky Romero, Trent Beretta, and Hechicero as babyfaces leaving the Don Callis family?
Bro, nobody cares. They either get them off TV or they do what you said. And if they were off TV, nobody's going to even realize that they're gone.
Nope. They just fade away into the background.
So what's the plan here? Is Wardlow going to be part of a tag team? Is he going to team with Takeshita? Is he going to team with Josh Alexander? Like, what is the plan for these guys? They're all there, like Jesse said, as henchmen. Do you want Josh Alexander to be a fucking henchman when he came over and had one of the more glorified TNA title reigns of all time? I mean, I don't understand this. What is their purpose in the group? I feel like this is Don Callis trying to prop himself up when he doesn't need it. Everybody else is benefiting. Nobody's benefiting but Don Callis here. Nobody's benefiting from this group.
No. There's too many people for us to actually care about. There's not enough room for that group to shine anymore. I mean, I don't know if maybe they will do a tag team with Takeshita and Wardlow. They had a little face off and a little nods of approval here and there. I'm not too sure what they're doing. I guess that'll be yet to be figured out. But I venture to say they're not going to get us to give a shit about 50% of that faction.
Listen, I know I'm going to beat a dead horse with this comment. Wardlow in this, first of all, I'm so happy to see him back. He's fucking great. Love Wardlow. But if you think that this is the best use of Wardlow here in 2025, I would have just put him back with MJF and had him be MJF's heater again. You want to bring the fucking feeling back? Go back to that and redo that and build something there. I mean, he needs fucking people. If he's going to be nefarious and cheat, and he's going to take the cheap way out, and he wants to make deals with people after being out of the Hurt Syndicate, you bring in Wardlow to pair him with MJF, and you go after the Hurt Syndicate. Bro, what the fuck are we doing there, bro?
How about if we would have gotten MJF into a match with Bobby Lashley, and MJF wins with the returning Wardlow.
Bro, why are we booking this shit better than the fucking show that we saw tonight? I don't understand this. I really don't get it. This is the best case for Wardlow. We just came up with two different fucking things that were better than Wardlow. This was the best they came up with.
Put him in the Don Callis family.
Put him in the Don Callis family, a fucking landfill of no bodies that go nowhere and no direction, no creative. Yeah, throw him in the Don Callis family. What are we gonna see? What are we gonna see from Wardlow? 8-man tags with the Paragon. Because that's exactly what we got. Who are we gonna see? Hologram?
Wardlow-gram.
Let me get a collision corner with this guy running down a fucking future collision card, and Wardlow's in his first match back with fucking Hologram.
Oh, it's coming. It's AR Fox.
What a fucking money pit this place is. Money! MJF and Wardlow back together. And it makes sense. Yeah, you put him in the Don Callis family. Bro, I can't stand this fucking place, man. Ridiculous. Yeah, he'll be in a $300,000 match on Saturday night. It's exactly what's coming. Awful. Awful decision. I love Takeshita. Let's start building that up to All Out. Him and Okada. I'm sold. I won't complain about that. Let's get that going for the unified title. Toni Storm. She wrestled Athena. Athena's Ring of Honor Forever Championship not on the line, but Toni's AEW title is on the line. I'll let you go, bro. I didn't really enjoy this. What'd you think of these two? Two great wrestlers, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, man. I didn't feel anything towards this.
This falls under like the Okada versus Swerve match. I mean, you're not gonna put Athena and Toni Storm in a match, and I'm not gonna like it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Was it the absolute, banger that I said it would be, the show stealer that I thought it was gonna be? No, it was not that great. But I don't see how you can ever put these two in a match together, and I'm not gonna enjoy it. I mean, they are two of the best in this company and what they do, and the match was fine. I mean, could it have been better? Yeah. I mean, if that's what you want me to say, then yeah, the match could have been better, but it didn't suck. No, it was absolutely fine. I enjoy what they do, and a couple of spots didn't vibe as well. Maybe the chemistry was a little bit off here and there, but for what it's worth, I would watch it again. I mean, I'm not going to go back and watch it again, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed their work, man. I'm going to, because they're just that damn good.
Yeah, I just felt like they beat a dead horse with this contract situation, and they didn't really make it feel important. And I didn't really get the heel just traditionally cashing in this contract to get this title match. I did not like that and how that came about. But the story here was Toni being pile driven on the steel steps on Wednesday when they had a tag team match. It was Athena and Mercedes versus Alex Windsor and Toni Storm. And Toni was pile drived on the steel steps foolishly. I don't know why we're doing moves like that to one of your bigger stars. But that was the situation there. It was the neck issue, quote unquote, neck injury coming on in, compromised neck. And Toni was definitely playing an underdog, come from behind babyface with that neck injury. So we'll pick it up towards the middle here. TCM chicken wing is applied by Toni Storm. This was after Athena, who is going for an O-face. Storm dodged an O-face into a pop-up power slam. Then she goes for the chicken wing into a backdrop driver by Athena. Toni Storm comes back with the tornado DDT and a tiger driver for a 2 count. So both ladies are back up to their feet. Toni Storm is battling it out with Athena, and she switches from fists to some big Mongolian chops. Athena hit a kip-up thrust kick and a big roaring elbow for a near fall. Storm went up in the corner as Billy Starks, she is back into the match here after recovering from an earlier distraction. She gets up there, distracted, and Athena hits a flying boot and a corner hurricanrana, and then she follows that with a Liger bomb for a 2. So then Athena sinks in the Koji clutch. Haven't seen the Koji clutch in a while, man. That's a Sami Zayn move. Storm got the rope to break up the Koji clutch. Uppercut sidestepped. Storm briefly got another chicken wing attempt on, but Athena sent her to the outside and met Storm with a tope through the bottom rope to the outside. So similar to Wednesday here, Athena wanted another pile driver on the steps, but Toni bit free and slammed Athena onto the steps and threw her into the LED barricade. So we go back inside. Toni fired off a headbutt, got a Storm Zero for a very close 3 count, 2.5. Athena starts clawing at the ring skirt for any way to get out of this situation. Both ladies end up on the apron. Billy Starks pulled at the ring skirt and distracted Storm enough for Athena to hit an O-face across the top rope. So Billy Starks was about to use the chair when Mina Shirakawa runs out, got the chair, chased Billy Starks to the back. Big package from Toni Storm, gets a 2. Athena rolled out, fired off an uppercut, tried for another O-face, but leapt into the clutches of a big chicken wing by Toni Storm. She fought, but Athena ultimately ends up tapping out. Toni retains the title on a fucking chicken wing tap out, bro. They couldn't even pin her. Man. They had her tap out to Toni Storm, man. There's nothing in this world in pro wrestling, man, that tells me they have no direction for Athena with this fucking tap out to the TCM chicken wing.
Yeah, they had to tap out fairly quickly, too.
Yeah.
Really, really, really quickly. And I do think as fans, we do put a lot of emphasis on a tap out. I mean, like, if you tap out, then you're just like the biggest scum on the earth, though. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, especially if you're a heel tapping out. It has to happen sometimes, man. I mean, it's not the end of the world that you tapped out. But as fans, we start chanting it at them. It's like, I mean, it is the worst thing ever to tap out in a match. And I don't know why we've vilified it so much, but I mean, as a community, we have. But she did tap out really fast. I mean, she could have fought a little bit more, especially being the ROH Women's Champion, the Forever Champion, the American Joshi, all this stuff. She tapped out really fucking fast. That was my whole ordeal. If she would have fought for a while and gave it a shot and tried, and then eventually tapped out because she had no other options, I would have been okay with that. I really would have been okay with that. But it went on, and less than 3 seconds later, she's already tapping out. That's not what you want to see one of your champions do.
It's like Gunther tapping out to Jey Uso at WrestleMania this year, bro.
Yeah, that was
seconds.
Yeah, it was a really, really fast. I mean, if she would have put it in and then Athena got out of it and somehow Toni Storm managed to get right back in it, and then Athena tried holding out and squirming out and she couldn't, and then like a good 20, 30 seconds later, she finally gave up, bro, I'd be sitting there saying, big deal. She tapped out, bro. She fought out and she's not going to sit there and die in the hole. No, she was out of there just like that. That is the part that I had the problem with. She could have gave more effort in that submission hold.
This ending was booked in a way where Athena will factor into nothing come Wednesday. It was a solid ending that solidified her as a loser. That's it. Back to the app, back to Ring of Honor you go, back to defend your title. That means absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things. If they wanted Athena on television, what happened?
Back to the app.
Back to the app. Back to the app, she goes. If they wanted Athena on television, they would have did this ending a little bit different to keep her chasing Toni, or Toni winning via something that Athena could potentially complain about come Wednesday and maybe lobby for another match. What I get out of this is that Athena's going back to Ring of Honor and Toni Storm has no legit competition for the Ring of Honor, for the AEW Women's Championship. It may end up going back to Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm. There is nobody else. Half of the fucking division is tied up on Collision in this triangle of madness nonsense going on there. Willow's over there, Statlander's over there, Jamie Hayter's now over there. Who exactly is on Dynamite, Jesse, that you find to be the next in line for Toni Storm in the AEW Women's Championship if it's not Mercedes?
I don't know. I feel like it could be Statlander coming up soon, seeing as how the Death Riders are grooming her. Maybe she's going to actually turn heel again and then go for the Women's Championship.
You think they're actually going to follow through with that? Statlander beating Toni Storm, bro? I can't see it.
Whoa. I didn't say beating Toni Storm. I said going after the championship. I'm just trying to make sense of them having not just... It started off with just Wheeler Yuta, but now they have Moxley also, advocating for Chris Statlander, trying to, they're courting her. They clearly want her in the Death Riders. So clearly it's going to happen at some point. They're going to turn her back to heel again. I mean, which is gonna piss me off ultimately because we never got any kind of resolution from the last time they turned her heel. But I digress. I feel like she's gonna join the Death Riders and then go after Toni Storm.
We will see. Not very exciting here from the women. I just did not care about it the way that I wanted to. Did not like the ending, as I feel like it feels final for Athena. Like they're not going to do anything with her. And that's very sad because she should not be where she is. She should absolutely be one of the top contenders on Dynamite on Wednesday night. But she taps out to the chicken wing, and I just don't have trust in the process that she's going to go anywhere after Forbidden Door. We got the AEW World Championship on the line. It is MJF against Adam Page. Now, over the last 2 weeks, it was back and forth with MJF and Adam Page. Adam Page goaded MJF into giving up his contract and cashing in traditionally. And it didn't really make sense because that's completely against MJF's character. How does Adam Page convince someone like MJF, who is a sleazy slime ball, to just give up his contract? And we called it out. It just makes MJF look weak. It makes him look like a fucking geek. And then we come to the following week, which is this week, and all MJF has to do is commit attempted murder. He ties up Mark Briscoe. He threatens to burn him alive and make him Kentucky Fried Chicken, and he lays down the law. Adam Page, I want my rules for this match. You can lose the title on a countout and a disqualification. And you know what? If you don't give me what I want my championship contract back to me. I don't have to cash in to get this match. And if you don't listen to me, Mark Briscoe's going to get burned alive. So Adam Page had to listen. MJF committed attempted murder on Dynamite. Adam Page was the hero. And we got this stipulation. So Page can lose the match, lose the title on countout or disqualification. And MJF's contract is not on the line. He did not cash it in. He still has it, win or lose, after this match. We'll pick it up towards the part where I just felt like my intelligence was insulted. I don't know if this was part of the production meeting, Jesse. I don't know if there was a production meeting. If there was, I don't know why anybody didn't call out this stupidity that we watched. Now, obviously, we were all insulted here. So we go to the outside. MJF has a table. He's cursing at the timekeeper. He takes the fucking table, black cloth and all. He brings it over to the aisleway side of the ring. Takes the black cloth off. He sets the table up nice. It's in position for a big move. So we get this table not immediately coming into play, but it comes into play, and I'm just left scratching my head, as I'm sure you are, because you texted me as well. So MJF brings the table over to that side of the ring. Page cut him off. Does a standing moonsault off the apron, floated through and tombstoned MJF on the floor. He breaks the count. Page repositioned the table. He jumps off the apron with MJF in a deadeye and puts MJF through the fucking table with a deadeye. And I'm just watching this and I'm saying to myself, isn't that a disqualification? Like, I don't know on what planet you're the referee and you're looking at MJF go through a fucking table and it's not a disqualification. MJF brought the table over to be used. MJF did not use the table. Adam Page took it upon himself to use the table and put MJF through the table, and Bryce Remsburg does nothing about it. And I'm sitting here saying MJF should be the world champion. I tweet, MJF went through the table. Adam Page cheated. He used a table. He should be disqualified. MJF should be the champion. Match continued, bro. I don't know if you thought it was as stupid as I thought, but holy shit, man, my intelligence is fucking insulted. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, and you know, and especially the thing about it is, the thing that highlights it is that they made the stipulation where the title can change hands on a DQ. If that stipulation was not there, one would argue, oh, well, the referee is just giving them a little bit of leniency so we can get a solid outcome. No. DQs are a part of this whole equation here. So if a DQ happens, title changes. It was literally put into the deal, into the match. But now we're going to ignore clear and obvious DQs. So now everyone's sitting there scratching their heads. Like, what are we doing here? Is it no DQ now? Are some DQs allowed and some not? Consistency. That spot shouldn't have been there. That's an easy fix. We can't do that spot. That's a fucking DQ. What are we doing here?
Literally, nobody said anything. Nobody called this out. Nobody rectified this in the production meeting. Nobody thought that this was a bad idea.
No producer. This seemed like this was the producer's job. So
commentary didn't say anything. What am I supposed to think? So we got this stupid situation happening. We go back into the ring. MJF got a foot on the rope after the fucking cover because after that you want to pin the fucking guy, right? So he gets him in the ring. MJF got a foot on the rope, breaks the count. MJF knew Page wanted a buckshot. So he went outside. He took a seat at ringside. Page got a running start. MJF hits a drop toe hold onto a chair that is sitting in the corner. It busted Page open in the process. MJF slammed Page into the steps before screaming to Danielson, "Just like you, he fucking sucks." He yelled at Bryan Danielson. Love that there's still hatred there between those two. Greatest Iron Man match of all time. So Danielson said he'd love to go in there and punch MJF, but he knows that's what MJF wants because he wants to get DQ'd. He wants to get Page DQ'd so he can win the title by taking the cheap way out. Danielson was the only one with common sense on commentary. MJF picked up Page, hits a tombstone of his own through the broken parts of the table that were just broken before. So that was not a DQ because I guess, could you constitute that as a DQ for MJF too, bro? Should he have been disqualified by tombstoning Page on the rubble of the table?
I mean,
the table was already broken at that point.
The table's already broken, so I mean, why give him a DQ here when there wasn't originally a DQ in the first spot, though? I
don't know. So Page is through the table, tombstone. He makes it back in at literally 9.99999. MJF then sees Page get back in. He pulls the turnbuckle pad off in the corner. He tried to slam Page into it, but the situation was turned, and MJF went face first into the steel. He's bleeding buckets now at this point, and the crowd starts chanting, "You deserve it." So we got a stare down. Big slugfest between the two. They collapsed on top of each other until they trade tombstones back and forth, tombstone attempts, and then they go legitimately back and forth on a crazy series of pin attempts. I mean, Bryce was fucking getting a workout in that ring. They started counting two. Crowd was into it. It went from a bunch of series of near falls with twos, and then they got a one count out of a couple of other pin attempts. It was fucking crazy. Jackknife cover by Page into a bridge from MJF. Page spun out into a deadeye for two. Really, really great sequence here. Great stuff. Crowd was big time into it at this point. Page ordered MJF to fight. MJF took out the Dynamite Diamond ring from his trunks, puts it on the mat, and then starts yelling at Page to use it. He wants him to get disqualified. MJF then spat in Page's face, yelled at Page to use the ring, but instead, Page spits right back in MJF's face, big time. MJF pulled Bryce in his way from a buckshot. MJF shoved them into one another, hitting a low blow behind Bryce's back. He immediately goes for the heat seeker on Page. He makes the cover, and this is the other part of the match where my intelligence is insulted, and I don't know how this made it out of the production meeting, if there was a production meeting. So after all of this back and forth with Bryce, he gets the low blow. Bryce never sees anything. MJF brings Page over to the ropes, Jesse. He delivers a heat seeker, and Bryce Remsburg, he's fucking spinning in his counts just to avoid seeing the foot on the rope. He counts one. He counts two. He counts three. You audibly hear a 3 count, and he doesn't see Page's foot on the rope. And then he collapses and passes out. And MJF is like shaking him. Get up! Get up! I heard you count 3. I'm the champ. Bro, this fucking guy counted 3, did everything to avoid counting 3, to see Page's foot on the rope. We heard the 3 count. MJF is now a 2-time AEW champion in this one match alone, bro. How the fuck did anyone look at this or hear this pitch for this sequence of the match and say, yeah, man, that sounds good? This was fucking absolute retardation at its best, bro.
We'll just go ahead and play and lean into the fact that he counted 3 and then passed out. Okay. Well, when he got up, why didn't he go ahead and ring the bell and call the match?
I don't know.
He counted 3, and he clearly didn't see his foot on the rope. So why did he not get up and declare MJF as champion? What changed? You counted 3. You know you counted. You passed out. Fine. We're gonna just go ahead and Roll with that. You passed out from whatever bump you fucking took. When you got up, why is he not champion?
Bro,
what changed your mind?
Bro, it's not even that. MJF heard the 3 count. This fucking guy passes out. He gets up, he sees Page's foot on the rope. Page could have put his foot on the rope after the 3 count was made. He didn't even see what was going on and didn't see the aftermath of it.
Yep. After the fact. When you counted 3, you didn't see the foot on the rope. You're supposed to ring the bell. You passed out. When you got up, ring the bell. Well, foot on the rope. No, bro. You could have put that shit up there anytime. Nope. Ring the bell.
Listen, a lot of people think we take this too far. We're too serious. Just lay back and enjoy it, man. It's not that serious. Motherfucker, my intelligence is insulted after watching this 30-minute great match. This overbooking and nonsense in this match almost ruined the match for me. This was ridiculous. How do you go about making a decision like that and have everybody look fucking okay? Everyone looks like a fucking idiot here. Bryce is the worst referee in the history of AEW, bro. He's worse than fucking what's his name? The old dude that does all the Young Bucks matches.
Oh my God, you sure about that?
Yes, absolutely. He's worse than Rick Knox, bro.
Oh my God. Ooh, that's a leap, man. I don't know. You're saying a lot. So I get the false finish that they wanted to go for. The ref counted 3. I get that. They could have done that. They could have gave us the physical 3 count, had him get up to go, because guys, the match is not over until the referee signals for the timekeeper to ring the fucking bell. I don't care if he counts to 5. When he counts to 3, he has to turn to the fucking timekeeper and have them ring the bell. He could have had him count to 3, get up, and then go to signal, and then look back and saw the foot on the rope, just to give the feeling they were trying to give in this spot. I think counting 3 and then passing out is a little bit of a fucking reach. I mean, that's kind of stupid, man.
Bro, this was as clown show as you could possibly book for a world championship match. Bro, MJF is a phenomenal fucking pro wrestler, man. I get that he is the slime ball prick, and we love him for it. But, man, it's the same thing in his matches, man. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell him what to do. But, man, he is so much better than what we're getting, man. I don't know why he just can't fucking win matches. Like, this is the same thing I had with... there was a point in WWE, I don't know who it was with, where Vince was still there. I think it was like Andrade, and something happened with somebody. Vince booked heels, man, to win every single time by nefariously cheating. Why do we need phenomenal pro wrestlers like MJF to cheat every single time to win matches? Bro, this guy could out-wrestle the best of them and win clean on any given night, man. Why can't we do one of those? Why can't we get that from time to time? It's got to be the same fucking ending every single time. Same cheating tactics every single time.
Yep. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I get why it happens sometimes, but it doesn't need to happen all the damn time. But if you got a heel that's a chicken shit heel that knows he's just not better than said babyface, then yeah, they're always going to book him to fucking cheat. You know, they got MJF, they gave him this contract where he can get a title match whenever he want. He gave him all these stipulations that benefited MJF, and somehow, some way, MJF still manages to leave Forbidden Door not world champion. Not a good look.
No, it's not a good look. This is strike 2 here. Strike 3, Mark Briscoe comes out. After the 3 count was audibly made, and MJF should have been a world champion here, Mark Briscoe finally comes out, and he's out there to lobby that MJF is not the winner of this match. Bryce Remsburg counted 3 without seeing the foot on the rope from Page. Bryce never officially called for the bell to ring. Briscoe charged out. He was held off by security. He knocked them all out. Then AEW's real security got in there. The 2 big dudes that usually you see on the TV shows, they're there, and they take him to the back. MJF turned back around and saw the foot on the rope. So he saw Bryce still out. He rushed over to MJF to take his foot off the rope. But at that time, Bryce had seen what MJF was about to do and got in his face, called him out on it. So they both shoved one another. Page hit a lariat. MJF threw a low blow as he held on to Bryce. He got another roll-up out of it, only a 2 count. MJF threw the AEW title into the ring. Bryce took it out of the ring. This allowed MJF to hit Page with his contract clipboard, which is made of steel, hit him in the face with it. Page kicks out of 2. MJF went back to the Dynamite Diamond Ring. He was about to use that now. Bryce caught him, and he removed it. This gave Page a chance to get revenge by hitting MJF in the face with his own contract case, hits a Deadeye, hits a buckshot, and he pins MJF 1, 2, 3. Post-match, Page placed the contract on MJF's chest, says, you want to use it? I'll even beat you then when you want to use it, just like I did tonight. And that's the way the match ended. This was a great match. If you just take out everything I said and you're not bothered by it, you were entertained for 30 minutes. This was easily the best match in the entire night for me. But man, I can't physically just be me and not complain about the idiocy in this match and the fucking absolute overbooking mess that just kind of insults someone like me and someone like you's intelligence. I'm not going to sit here and just say, yeah, it's all right, man. We see it way too much and nothing's done about it. Tonight, it was just overly egregious, and it was just in your face, fucking stupid. But at the end of it, I thought they had the best match of the night.
Yeah, it was absolutely way overbooked.
Yeah,
I think they just thought too much about it, and instead of just saying, "Hey, I got MJF, I got Hangman, two of my best fucking workers, bell to bell, let them go out there and create some fucking magic." You know what I'm saying? Just let them go and be. They added all these stipulations in just to ignore the stipulations. Ref bump, ref wakes up, ref passes out, ref doesn't know what the fuck is going on. It's too much. Too much. You have two men that the average promoter would kill to have, that you can just say, hey, guys, you got 30 minutes. Go out there and kill it. Done. Yeah, Devin in the chat, Devin Meganson, the black referee that AEW has, he is absolutely by far, I don't know his name either. He's by far and away their best referee, bro. He is always on top of everything. Yeah. No, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. But again, I hate shaming the refs for some of this stuff, although sometimes their physical actions are the problem. But this is what they produced. This is the match they were produced. Okay, ref, get in here. We got you a part of this match. You're going to count 3, pass out. You're going to ignore these table spots. You're going to do all I'm assuming that they had to tell the ref ahead of time to ignore these clear disqualifications. Because if otherwise, if I'm the ref, I'm in my earpiece, bruh. That was a fucking DQ. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, what I'm supposed to call this as that's it. New champion. But it bottom line, it was just overbooked. Sometimes simple is better. Have them go out there, have a balls to the wall, 30-minute fucking barn burner, and let them go. You let MJF and Bryan Danielson go out there for 60 fucking minutes and they tore the house down. You didn't need all these fucking shenanigans to make it an interesting match.
Bro, the only thing that he used was the fucking the can of air that they used at the end of the match. He hit him with it. And that was in overtime.
Yeah. No, you all you have to do is give these guys their 30 minutes, let them go work. That's it, bro.
Stephon Smith is his name. He's the best referee they have. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, he's pretty good. This was overbooked.
Yeah.
What can you say, man? I mean, this should have been a home run, a clear home run. I mean, they should have had some kind of a tease of a cash in or some shit like that. But I don't know if they plan on taking that stipulation away already. You know what I'm saying? Where you got to plan it a week in advance. That is so messed up.
Yeah, man. I was about to ask you now. Now, MJF has the contract. Does the new rule go into effect with him? Does he have to announce that a week before he's got to cash in that contract? He's got to cash it in ahead of time for MJF to get his match with Adam Page again?
That's what the rule is now, apparently. I do not like that rule. I really, really, really dislike that fucking decision. That was terrible. That just takes away the spontaneity of that contract.
It takes away from the whole fucking gimmick for someone like MJF to use it as it's intended to use. Like, you're killing his gimmick now. Like, what is he going to do? Yeah, I'm cashing in my contract at this show, and we're going to do it again. Really? Yeah, like, you would figure he'd lose this match in the way that he lost, and then he sneak a cash in and win the title. Now that can't happen.
That's just a straight up nerf. They just nerfed the Gallahorn. They just nerfed the Gallahorn, bro. They just nerfed Mint Retrograde. They just killed that whole gimmick. It's worthless now. I don't even like it anymore now.
Yeah, that is awful. I mean, this was It was entertaining to an extent, man, but holy shit, you guys got to do so much better than give us those nonsense. I get it, it's pro wrestling. It's supposed to be a fucking carny act, but man, please don't insult my intelligence. That was just overly egregious tonight. MJF loses, don't know what happens next. I would assume that we get MJF and Hangman again are all out. Maybe Briscoe gets involved. I don't know. We'll see on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Main event. We got Will Ospreay, Darby Allin, Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi. Kenny Omega, who, by the way, was not on television for any of the build for Forbidden Door. Kota Ibushi didn't even realize he was in this match until he found out on social media. And Hiroshi Tanahashi, whose knees are being held together by scotch tape and fucking bubble gum over here. He walks down to complete this babyface fivesome against the Death Riders of Jon Moxley, Claudio, Gabe Kidd, who is their hired gun from New Japan, and the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. Lights out, steel cage match. I didn't want to believe that this was going to be the main event, but this was the main event.
It had to make sense. You can't have a lights out match mid-show.
I guess so. I mean, I don't see what the big deal is about having a non-sanctioned match where there's no title on the line in the middle of a fucking show and then just go on with the rest of the show. But they wanted it for the allure of Will Ospreay having his final match for now in England. So I could see why they did it. But yeah, Ospreay had a fantastic video package, great video package with the narration done by his fiance Alex Windsor, and it was just a career retro. Who? Alex Windsor.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, narrated by her, and it was just a career retrospective with something that she personally wrote in regards to Ospreay. Really, really good stuff. Crowd was fucking deafening for Will Ospreay. Sang his theme word for word. They enjoyed every second. Really made it special. Young Bucks came out, Jesse. Their music, their actual theme music played for about 10 seconds, and I thought we were going to get something borderline regular Young Bucks here. But all of a sudden, they scratch the music, and we get Bop by Hanson playing, and they supposedly they requested their old music. Now, they meant their current music, but their old music was played, and apparently this was one of their first theme songs. Their first theme song, I believe, Excalibur said, Bop by Hanson played tonight.
They weren't very specific, were they?
No, they were not. They were not.
Old theme music.
Everybody was having a sing-along. Omega was laughing. Ospreay was laughing. Everybody was enjoying the Young Bucks being trolled again.
In a match on a show tonight where there were just so many things that we're sitting here talking about what we didn't like. I'm telling you, I'm enjoying this. The Bucks are no longer EVP, so they get treated like trash gimmick. I just find it comically suiting. I mean, I'm enjoying it. I don't know, it's fun.
I don't mind it. I do worry that it's going to get a little played out. Like the first week was great. Second week was okay. You know, tonight was all right. But, you know, any more than that, I feel like it's just going to be kind of outplayed. So I wouldn't really overdo it. But
personally, I would keep it going until they do something to fix their status, and that would be winning the tag team champion.
That's why I said earlier, I believe that they will be going after the tag team titles against Brody King and Bandito. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't treat champions that way. So champions didn't get
like they theoretically, like you said, like you've been saying, they theoretically should be wanting to go after the tag team titles and get their titles back, and they might feel like doing that may give them the respect that they feel like the company should be giving them. And as champions, they get their everything that they had taken away from them back.
Yeah, that's definitely what I would do right there. Yeah.
So we'll pick it up here. One of the big spots that happened early in the match was something that Jesse said he enjoyed very much earlier in the show. Nick Jackson grabs a bag of what he requested from the production team. He wanted it filled with, I believe, thumbtacks or some sort of sharp object, glass, Legos, whatever it may be. So apparently in the bag was none of those things, and out of the bag comes gummy bears. Which angered Jon Moxley because he wanted blood and violence. So Omega tried to drop toe hold the Bucks onto the gummy bears. Matt fought it off for dear life until Tanahashi hits a bulldog on him into the bears. Into the gummy bears. Omega forced gummy bears into the mouth of Matt Jackson and was hit in the face with a move where he just spit up all of the gummy bears from his mouth. Now, I don't find myself, Jesse, dropping food on the floor and then using the 5-second rule. A pro wrestling mat is probably more dirty, 100 times more dirty than my floor here in my office. But gummy bears on that mat where everybody's wrestled for 5 hours, bro, and there's blood and there's fucking whatever other diseases are on that mat, in the mouth of Matt Jackson, bro. I know thumbtacks look and sound brutal and glass and Legos may hurt very much, but putting dirty food in your mouth like that, bro, in abundance, that is pretty brutal.
Probably a germaphobe's nightmare. Probably just as bad.
It is Howie Mandel's nightmare, bro.
Oh, Howie would fucking die. He would fucking die. I even popped for when that somebody got dropped on the gummy bears and they sold it as if they got hit by fucking bricks, man. There's a little bit of carny fucking comedy in there. It was just fine for me. And that was about it for the rest of the night as far as the gummy bears went. It wasn't like it was an ongoing.
Nah, it was a spot. It was a comedy spot. I didn't mind it. I thought it was highly entertaining.
It was.
So Claudio brings in a ladder to get into the ring and launched Ospreay off the apron into the cage, busting him open pretty badly. So this is his last match for a while. He's going to go out on a fucking on his shining horse here. So Darby Allin's ear is bleeding as the Bucks hit an assisted swanton onto the ladder. The Bucks tried to take Ospreay out with the ladder, but he kipped up into a handspring Pele, sending the ladder crashing into Matt and Nick. Moxley returned with a chair, but Ospreay ducked and tried to Pillmanize Moxley's neck, only for Gabe Kidd to make the save and spiking Ospreay with the Gotch pile driver, leaving Ospreay clutching his neck. I don't know if it's wise if we're going to take the guy who is injured with a serious neck injury and deliver a Gotch-style pile driver, bro. I don't understand some of these decisions.
He shouldn't even be in the match.
I don't understand why a move like that was okay, but I'm not a fucking producer. So Ospreay's clutching his neck. Kid draped Omega over the top. Bucks hit double stomps and a bounce back powerbomb, which looked great. Giant swing by Claudio as Nick jumped over them mid-swing, took out Ibushi with a twisting dive to the outside. Ibushi was brought back inside where he briefly powered up and he ate a double super kick and a TK driver. Darby Allin broke the count. Claudio pressed Allin over his head and fucking launched him into the cage on the outside. By the way, this cage was a very low steel cage. It was very reminiscent of a Hell in a Cell almost, but like
with no lid.
Yeah, with no lid, and it was half the size. I actually did. I'm surprised I didn't mention this before. I love the aesthetic of this, by the way. I don't know what you thought. I thought this looked great.
No, I actually liked this cage. It was somewhat original. It was a little bit different.
Yeah,
I did enjoy the cage. I did like the cage. I liked it.
I honestly, I prefer something like this to be done in a steel cage more than the traditional steel cage match we get in WWE. I think they are so old and they've ruined and tarnished that concept. I think something like this would work for a steel cage match in both companies. But yeah. I thought this looked great. So we got Claudio pressing Allin over his head. He barely, and I mean barely, missed the beam of the steel cage. He went into the fencing and not the beam. If he went into the beam, it would have been a whole nother story. So that was an insane spot. Tanahashi was left to fight alone, and he stood his ground, sidestepping the Bucks, dishing out a twist and shout to Claudio. Moxley cut him off with a very safe-looking paradigm shift. He didn't want to kill the old man. Moxley sat Darby in a chair, and he duct taped, did Claudio, Darby to this chair. John Moxley pulls out a fork, and he starts violently stabbing Darby Allin in the ear. And the crowd is oohing and eyeing, and the camera's focused and close up on the fork being dug into Darby's already bleeding ear, and Mox is twisting the fork and like he's raveling spaghetti on the fork, bro. He's raveling Darby's skin on the fork. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here, bro? Oh I mean, holy shit, man. Do we really need this? This is the only thing people are going to be talking about all night. This. The one clip that's going to go around about Forbidden Door is not everything else on the show, not Edge and Christian, not MJF and Adam Page. It's going to be Darby and Moxley with their fucking bloody fork spot. Why?
Bro, you get mad when they do this on Dynamite, say it should be saved for a special spot. They do it at a pay-per-view in a cage match. You get mad. You just don't like those spots at all, do you?
Bro, I don't like it because they use it as a vehicle to steal a headline, and it's all they know how to do. Like, why do they do it for the wrong reasons, bro? Like, we seen this shit at the pay-per-view, bro, with Moxley and Page. I didn't mind it there. This is just fucking ridiculous.
It was gory. It was ugly, but whenever
you were the one who didn't like the syringe spot with Page and Swerve, and I liked it. You're telling me I don't like it.
You never like him, though. Ugh.
I like that. I didn't mind that. Everybody had a problem with that. I didn't mind that at all.
My son was watching me watching the show when that happened. He literally had to turn his head away. He's 10 years old. He was gross.
Yeah, guys, Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy did it, but it wasn't a bloody spot. And Jeff Hardy's skin, that's dead skin there on the ear. He's got them big lobes with them fucking earrings, man. It stretches this earlobe out. Randy Orton took a screwdriver. It looks nasty, but I don't think it hurts that. I mean, that was just ridiculous. He spun his spin around in a screwdriver. Remember that spot? No?
I got the double standard in this one, bro.
Get out of here. There was no blood there, bro.
So it's blood that freaks you out. Is that what it is?
No, well, blood freaks me out in general, but they do it so often, man. I'm so numb to it. The reason why it works in WWE because they don't do it. They don't do it all that often. That's why when Page and Moxley happened, I didn't mind it because it fit the setting. But the last time we saw that type of gore and blood in a WWE match was Punk and McIntyre inside Hell in a Cell. It worked there. The reason why it worked is because we haven't seen it in so many years. But AEW does it every fucking week, and we're numb to it, bro. It's not special anymore.
Oh, okay. Look, I thought it was
you can't tell me I'm wrong.
I thought it was gross too, but I just know every time they do it, you seem to hate it, don't like it, no matter where. First, it was on Dynamite. Okay, I'll give you it's on TV. Why do that shit there? Save for the pay-per-view. They do it in the pay-per-view, and then here you are again. Like, bro, you just don't like this.
I don't like when it's overdone, bro. They do it way too often. You got to admit they do it way too often, man. It's their crutch. It's their go-to.
They do. They do it too much, man. I can't deny that. They do it too much. I'm not like offended by it. They do a lot of shit too much. They do ref bumps too much. I'm not offended by it. You know what I'm saying? They do DQs too much. I'm not offended. You know what I'm saying? This one, you are just like, yeah, why? Stop.
They do it. They do it just to do it, man. There's no rhyme or reason why they do it. They just do it. Like, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do when they wrestle it all out, man? They're gonna fucking fall from a building? What are they gonna do?
Yeah, they'll find something else gross to do, I'm sure.
How are they gonna combat Lesnar and Cena and WrestlePalooza, man? Are they gonna fucking fall from a 30-foot fucking scaffolding in the arena?
Probably.
They're gonna reimagine the Shane McMahon spot with Steve Blackman. That's what they're gonna do.
It's like I don't know what anybody expected from a match that it contained Jon Moxley and Darby Allin in a steel cage.
How about not do it because we've seen enough of it.
It's gonna happen, man. You know it's gonna happen.
So we got that fork spot. Start stabbing Darby in the ear, which was, I mean, it is what it is. Claudio body slammed Allin with the chair because he's still duct taped in it, and blood is just pouring from his ear. A barbed wire table was brought to the ring and set up in the corner by the Bucks as Marina and Yuta started setting the tables up and stacking them on top of each other. This was outside the cage by the aisleway. Bucks tried to throw Tanahashi into the barbed wire. He fought them off, and it was Moxley who was sent headfirst into it, busting him open. Of course, Moxley went into the barbed wire. Sling blades delivered to Gabe Kidd and Jon Moxley, but Claudio cut Tanahashi off with a neutralizer. Nailed him with a nice-looking neutralizer, while the Bucks hit a BTE trigger, but Ospreay, who was out of the match for a long time here, which I'm glad that they gave him a nice resting spot here, broke the count. Ospreay covered and protected Tanahashi. Moxley pulled him up by his neck, wanted a Death Rider, but Ospreay tackled him through the barbed wire. Omega returned with Snapdragons until the Golden Lovers hit stereo Snapdragons onto Moxley and Matt Jackson. Ibushi just got enough of a sling blade plancher before started getting the crowd into it. Terminator dive, and there was a shot of the camera that cut to Shafir, and she yelled out loud, and no expletives were bleeped here. She said, "Fuck you, Kenny." I actually laughed at that. I thought that was great. So we'll pick it up towards the end here. There was a situation with the tables on the outside, which did come into play, but you knew they would. So Kid was left with Omega, and they have some history from New Japan. Things broke down even further. Everyone took turns hitting their signature moves, including Darby with a death drop on Moxley. Ospreay wall walked into a super kick, but ultimately took out both Bucks with hidden blades. Ospreay pushed Omega out of the way of a charging Kid, who laid out Kid with a Styles Clash before delivering a hidden blade / V-trigger for a 2 count. Nick hit a scary springboard DDT on Ibushi on the apron. Ospreay flew in with a Os cutter off the apron onto Matt, which makes me think that he might not be as injured as he says he is, because he was doing some crazy shit in this match, even though he says he's hurt. So hopefully that's not the case. Ospreay with the Os cutter. Darby Allin hits a coffin drop. Omega and Moxley are left slugging out, with Omega connecting with V-triggers and a one-winged angel, but that was broken up. Allin and Moxley fought on the top of the cage as Yuta made the save, allowing Moxley to get away, but Yuta was left on the side of the cage, and they tried to do the good old Shawn Michaels spot from the original Hell in a Cell with The Undertaker. AEW needs to do something with their tables, bro, because this spot could have been so much better if he actually went through the table. He fell from the side of the cage because Darby knocked him off, and he did not go through the table, man. He just fell on top of it and then slid off of it. This could have been so much more impactful if the table did break. I don't know what the fucking tables are made out of, but
I thought the front end of the table.
No, it did not break. It did not break.
It stayed whole altogether?
It stayed whole altogether. It might have collapsed and sunk off tilt, but it did not break traditionally like they expected it to. No.
Oh, okay.
So that was a spot. He fell from the side of the cage. He fell onto the Japanese announce table, wiping out El Desperado, who was one of their commentators for New Japan. Allin and Moxley fought around the cage, and he placed Moxley between these set-up tables as Shafir makes the save. Allin perched the top. Gabe Kidd is climbing up there now, climbed the ladder, hits a low blow, joining Allin up on top of the cage. Kidd had a sleeper on Darby Allin, but Allin from behind rakes the eyes, and both all of a sudden fall from the top of the cage through all of the tables that were set up earlier, crashed and burned through all 4 tables. Gabe Kidd took a nasty spill on the floor, and he was taken out completely. So was Darby Allin from this match. Claudio screams loudly after every uppercut he throws at Ibushi, who's fired up now. Ripcord V-trigger by Omega. Stormbreaker by Ospreay. Nick ate a golden trigger from the Golden Lovers. Ospreay launched off Nick's back to hit Matt with a leaping V-trigger. Hidden Blade, one-winged angel by Ospreay and Omega on Matt. Tanahashi then climbed the top rope for the high fly flow, and Tanahashi gets the victory in his last match in AEW. So all the babyfaces stood tall. And I don't know where you guys watched the pay-per-view, but I watched via Verizon. I ordered the pay-per-view via Verizon on my cable network. As soon as Ospreay was waving to the crowd, the feed cut. I did not see what happened until I woke up from my nap, because after the show was over, I got a screen that said, "Thank you for watching," and they cut mid-Ospreay waving to the crowd. I thought that was the way they were going to go off the air, so I shut the TV off, and I went to go take a nap, had dinner, showered, came here, did the review for you guys, but it was not until, Jesse, I woke up from my nap to see the ending of this pay-per-view, which ended horribly for Will Ospreay. So the Death Riders beat up Ospreay at the end of the show. The Bucks, Yuta, and Kid all held off the baby faces on the outside and locked the cage. The Ops sprint out as Ospreay is left in the ring with the Death Riders. At this same time, Marina Shafir climbed the cage to get in with the rest of her group. But the baby faces are outside, the original 5, and then you got 3 with the Ops. There's 8 baby faces on the outside, banging on the cage to get in. Let me in! How do we get in? Motherfucker, Marina Shafir just climbed the fucking cage. I doubt the Death Riders at 5 deep would have been able to hold off 8 or 9 guys climbing the cage simultaneously at the same time. None of them decided to go up and get into the cage to help Ospreay. So they Pillmanized his neck, and the show went off the air with Ospreay being written off television.
In Hobbs' defense, do you think Will Hobbs is going to climb that fucking cage?
He should have. Yes.
Fuck. I'm not climbing that cage from Will Hobbs.
What are you talking about, bro? Look how small the cage was.
That's like, you see how big Hobbs is, though, man.
So what?
That's a big dude, bro.
Cage slowly rises. Death Riders bail. The babyfaces rush in to help Ospreay, who could have easily climbed the cage. There was no lid on the fucking cage. There's no top. None of them thought to climb the cage. He laid motionless there. Doctors were tending to him, and the show went off the air. Jesse and I had a little bit of disagreement as far as the ending. I genuinely think that they should have just left the ending as is, that we didn't need Ospreay being written off television. Everybody kind of assumed he was going to go away and get surgery. He should have had his moment in front of his people, and the show should have went off with a happy ending with Ospreay waving to everybody. Ospreay remains in England. He goes and gets surgery. He's out for whatever he's going to be out for, and he gets good, and he gets healthy again. I don't know why they needed to write him off via an angle, leaving the Death Rider standing tall at the end of the show. The only reason why I say they did that is to give Ospreay an opening for when he does come back, so he has a reason to come back. But they could have still made that happen without the write-off angle. I don't know how you felt about it, Jesse. I felt like they should have went off the air with him standing tall and a happy ending.
Again, I don't disagree with you. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I could definitely been okay with that. But at the same time, it's just, I mean, wrestling tradition, if you're going to go out, you're going to go out with an angle. And I just, if they were, my whole thing is, if they were going to do this, if they're going to have this match, if Will Ospreay was going to be in it, and they were going to do the beatdown angle, then what I would not have done is had Ospreay come out here 2 or 3 weeks ago and tell everybody that he's leaving to go have surgery. That should have never happened. They trotted this guy out here and had us all in our feels, having us think that this could be the last time we're going to see him perform and everything else. And he was done because he had to go and have surgery immediately. But then just to come back next week and says, I'm going to do a steel cage match, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then like, well, wait a minute. Why come out and even tell us about this fucking injury and this surgery?
Yeah.
Just go ahead and keep promoting the match, do the match, and then do the beatdown angle after the match. And then it would come out where he's going to be leaving for surgery. And like, oh, you know, well, that makes sense. You know, like I said, I'm sure the story would have leaked that he was having surgery prior to the show. But still, why come out and make this Bryan Danielson type somber moment that you're going to be leaving and you might not be back for a very long time? Turns out I'll be fine for the pay-per-view, though. Like, wait, hold on. What is happening right now?
Yeah.
So I would have eliminated that announcement and did the beatdown angle. But since they did the announcement, there was no real reason for the beatdown angle. That's where I agree with you there. They didn't have to really do it, but they did it. It is tradition that if someone's gonna leave for a nice little stretch for surgery or whatever the issue may be, then they beat them down and write them off TV. You know, they just did it with Swerve. They write them off TV and then they'll bring them back. So either way, it didn't bother me either way, because I mean, we knew he was leaving anyway, so they did an angle for it. Fine, I guess. I feel like they had bigger problems on the show to worry about than this angle happening or not happening.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are going to make a big deal about Swerve and Ospreay going down at the same time and being written off television to take extended periods of time away. AEW, Tony Khan has paid for one of the most talented rosters in all of pro wrestling. He has more than enough to fill those spots. This is an opportunity for AEW to take Ospreay and Swerve off of television at the same time and really get creative about who they want to push on television. This is now 2 major openings that anybody on that roster could go and grab. And this is a great opportunity to create new stars for that when Ospreay and Swerve do get back, you have an even better top of the card. I'm not looking at this as a bad thing because I can't feel bad about the roster that this guy assembled. Look at the talent that's on that show. So this is a great opportunity to get those type of guys involved. I'm not looking at Ospreay and Swerve being a negative. You got Takeshita, you brought Wardlow back, you got MJF, you got Paige, Omega's there. I mean, you got so many talented guys there. Why would anybody look at that as a bad thing? Are you looking at this as a bad thing, Jesse, or do you feel the same way I do?
No, but what I would have done is space this out a little bit. Apparently, Swerve has been dealing with this injury for years. So now, at the same time as I'm going to lose Will Ospreay, now we're going to have this shit. I mean, we seemingly could have spaced this out a little bit so that we don't have 2 top.
Well, you know how pro wrestlers think, bro. They don't want to go away and then potentially have their spot taken away.
Exactly. I mean, and that FOMO is always there when it comes to pro. I mean, you never know. You never know. You know you're hot right now. You never know how hot you're going to be when you get back. And I understand that, man. But sometimes it's not preventable. Sometimes people get hurt and they have to go away right away. But apparently both these guys are dealing with nagging injuries that could have been taken care of a long time ago. And now they want to do it at the exact same time. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how AEW follows that up. But Forbidden Door, listen, man, I am not a fan of the concept anymore. It was cool in the first beginning stages. It is not cool anymore. There was a lot I did not like on this show. There were some things I did like. All in all, another forgettable show for me. I know Jesse had a good time with it. Probably more so than I did. I just did not care, bro. I did not care.
Yeah, it was fun hanging out and watching it with the kids. I mean, but I share the same sentiments as far as the build and the lack of storytelling and the missed spots here and there. I share all of that. But from hanging out on a Sunday afternoon and watching it with my son, it was fun in that regard.
Guys, thank you very much for all of your support. We reached 3,100 people on this Sunday night. A little earlier than normal, man. Normally the shows end at around midnight. We're here till 4 o'clock in the morning, but it is very nice to see the time is not even 11 o'clock yet. And we're about to get out of here soon. So we're going to read through your super chats in just a second. I want to thank you guys again. Any content you might have missed on the channel, go and check it out. All on the homepage, including the second channel. Content going up there. More so next week. What do you got?
Bro, I have to bail. I have to go help with the kids. They have to get ready for school. My wife has to get ready for work, and she's sitting at the door waiting for me.
All right, man. I will see you on Wednesday then.
All right. Take it easy, chat. I will see you guys on Wednesday.
There you go, bro. He's out of here.
Later, man.
Later, bro. Jesse is getting out of here. Do I have... Let's see. Let's see if we can go over here. Boom. There you go. There you go, man. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Go check out all the content on the channel. Plenty of it. And please hit that thumbs up. You got over 1,000 likes. You guys did good tonight. Appreciate you. Happy to be back. Glad to be back. Missed you guys on Friday. We're going to do our thing and then get out of here. And then I got to get some rest. Tomorrow is my grandma's funeral. Going to be a tough day. I'll see you guys back for Raw. I will be live after Monday Night Raw. Let's get into this, man. We got Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. JD, Jesse, OTS, how's everyone? Let's go. Yeah, thank you, Michael. Chemo, the therapist, with a 5. Persephone is so fine that I wasn't even looking at Alex Windsor. Alex Windsor's booty. She doesn't have much going on back there, bro. Best in the world, Matt, with a 5. I guess to each his own. Best in the world, Matt, with a 5. With that tag match today, having Copeland and Christian do the hug in Cincinnati seems even more ridiculous now than it was then. I don't know why we didn't do it tonight. Should have absolutely been tonight. Nate with a $5 super chat. Dude, does everyone fucking need a 3-minute entrance? This shit isn't meant to go... or meant to under AEW, shouldn't get music. That's AEW licensed. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. What happened? Did everybody get... The only time I was annoyed with the entrances was the main event, man. I felt like everybody needed their own entrance. It's the only time I was annoyed with the entrances on this show. Michelle with a 5. Darby did crazy Darby shit again, and that's why TK makes his face stupid by not climbing the cage to save Ospreay, and the Death Riders live on, sadly. I thought that was utterly ridiculous, bro. Utterly ridiculous that the baby faces did not climb the cage to get in to help Ospreay. It's like they all collectively at the same time went retarded. Lucha Trooper with a 6 months. Sorry, JD. At the bar outside of O2. We'll watch the show tomorrow. Great night. Hangman and MJ put on a banger, but pissed that the Hurt Syndicate got screwed. Oh, have a good time, brother. Hopefully you had a good time. Ibu Mania 14 with a $4.99. JD from NY, I think we see the WWE go after Persephone as this year's WWE Forbidden Door Steel Crazier. Or Forbidden Door Steel Crazier part. Bozilla's father, Ulf Herman, is a scout for WWE. Bro, I would not be surprised if we hear that Bozilla is being scouted by WWE. Illuminati with a $2 super chat. Can't wait to hear y'all's take on MJF versus Hangman. Well, hopefully we deliver, brother. Dark One with 2 months. Did the COVID era help AEW? Yes, because they felt more real than WWE. They tried their best to not let COVID hinder their creativity. Dom Wapo with 26 months. Sorry for your loss, JD. I, too, grew up with my grandparents, and nothing beats a grandparent's love. Keeping you in my thoughts and prayers. Thank you, Dom Wapo. Triple M. Brother, I'm still operating with a Tier 1 rewind and elemental honing, bro. I am fine. I don't even give a fuck, bro. I really don't. I think I had a Tier 3 drop or a Tier 4 drop. I don't know what's on it, though. I might have rewind and bait and switch, but I'm enjoying elemental honing, bro. It's always procced. Still rocking my Tier 1, bro. I don't know how many kills I got with it. I take it everywhere. When I'm playing solo, man, I take it everywhere. It's that, and I've been using Polaris Lance. I don't take either one of them off. Michael Krause with the 2. OTS is here for you. JD prayers go out. Thank you, brother. Bro, I can't play until they fix the fucking grinding, bro. I am not doing 20 solo ops to get 1 drop, bro. They have to fix it before I start playing again. The only reason I would play is to grind. I want to finish my Grandmasters, but I can't get there until I get to 410. I don't know when those changes go into effect, man. That needs to happen ASAP. Boss Mo Jackson with the 199. I can't wait to hear you guys full scope on the Raja deal. JP Gordo with the 2. My condolences, bro. She's in a wonderful place. I hope so, man. I hope so, man. Phantom Master with a $5 super chat. Prayers are with you, JD. What did you think of the Irish crowd in Dublin for SmackDown? I was there and I got chills. The atmosphere was unbelievably good. You guys were awesome. You guys were awesome. John Cena, Logan Paul killed it. Outside that, didn't really care. I thought Becky Lynch's promo was really good. We'll talk about it more on Tuesday Night Titans on Tuesday night with the Solid Monster. Well, fine. I'll just do strikes. I don't give a fuck. I just want to level up, man. I just want to level up. Jay Everington with a 5. Will AEW still exist in 5 years if the creative direction of the company doesn't improve? They'll be around in 5 years, but they might have no TV deal on Warner and less of an audience. Ian Higginbotham with a $4.99. Hey, JD, hope you're having a good night, my man. What's your favorite Godzilla movie? Mine's probably either -1 or The Return of Godzilla. I'd probably go -1. Phil Illuminati with a 2. Jesse needs to book Mone's matches from now on. Well, I don't think that's going to happen for Illuminati. She's got creative control. I'd rather have it be 9 titles Money than 9 titles Money. 9. That'll be my only joke of the night. Yeah. None of those titles mean anything, bro. They really don't mean anything. Summit Hussein with 39 months. Hey, JD, hope all is well. Thank you, Summit. Jokerface with a 199. JD, Dana Brooke is TNA champion. Will you watch now? What? Is Dana Brooke really the TNA champion? Did she win the TNA Women's Championship, bro? Did she beat JC Jane? Was that the match tonight? Basic with a 499. Not an NXT guy, but that PLE was pretty damn good. Bro, that is... Oh, man, that is quite the decision. How do we go from Masha Slamovich to JC Jane to Dana Brooke, bro? Yes, it's trash by elegance, bro. Trash by elegance. Fallen Exposure with a $2 Super Chat. Chi-Town Smark with the new camera looking fresh. He's got a new camera? I didn't even notice. I did not notice. Street Fighter with a 5. JD, I hear you on the Hurt Syndicate take. I see their point on putting over a team like the Outrunners versus FTR. Outrunners could use the rub, but they didn't. That's the thing, bro. They didn't put over the Outrunners. They buried the Outrunners. Well-rounded Leo with a 5. I'm sorry, Bobby. Bobby shouldn't want to lose to most of the roster. Like 3 wrestlers in AEW should beat Bobby. Well, then, are you there because of your ego and pay? Or are you there to better the company and the TV show? Which is it? Nick Corvello with a $20 Super Chat. Them having no direction for Athena aside, that match results and the entire feud between Athena and Toni Storm just showed there's no direction for Toni Storm. This and Grand Slam tell me Toni is holding it till next year. Bro, we're already reaching, like, uninteresting vibes with Toni Storm, man. I think less about the Toni Storm character now than I did then. It is not as entertaining as it was, bro. It is not. Francis Loop with a $10 Super Chat. I like how Statlander brought up not getting her $100,000 yet. Then Moxley goes into the Young Bucks locker room and gets the money and gives it to Statlander. It's called continuity of storytelling. No, that's not storytelling, Francis. That's AEW using a fucking gimmick match to get a segment across on TV because they lack story. Chris, with 38 months. Thank you, Chris. Fulgens, what's up, brother? 40 months. Cashing in my membership milestone chat. Oh, thank you, my friend. My brother, don't be mad at me. I accidentally misplaced or lost one of the bracelets that you made me. The skull bracelet with the skull little centerpiece. I lost it, bro. I don't know what happened to it. Everything else you made for me, man, I have it. I wear it regularly. The skull one was one of my favorites. I wore that all. I can't find it. I think I left it in Chicago the last time I was there for House of Glory. Pissed at myself, bro. Very pissed. Francis Loop with a $10 Super Chat. Also, when Stat made the save on Collision, Willow gave Stat a look of disbelief. Also, maybe we're getting to turn the Death Riders into babyfaces with Stat as the catalyst. No. No, you are very, very optimistic, Francis. No. Best in the world, Matt, with a $5 Super Chat. Tanahashi deserved better for his last match in the UK. This show sucked. Yeah, I wasn't a fan. I was not a fan, brother. Captain Solo with a 2. So glad I didn't drop a 50 spot on this garbage. Yeah, I didn't really, I didn't find much enjoyment out of it either. So I'm right there with you, man. Francis with a 10. This whole thing with the Young Bucks teaming with the Death Riders, but still helping Okada with Swerve on Collision like they are with the Don Callis family seems intriguing. And now you add Stat. Matt Fisher comes in with a $50 Super Chat. This stream is almost as long as the show, in all seriousness. And I know this is your job, but if AEW makes you this upset, maybe don't watch it. Mind you, I don't watch it either. I'm worried about you stroking out. My sincere condolences for your loss. Brother, it's my job. You're actively telling me to work less. If I work less, I don't make money. Why would I want to work less and make less money? There's nobody else in the community besides Jason that's going live for 3 hours, bro. We do it because we love it. We do it because we can. We do it because we're better than anybody else in the community. Big Hoss with the 2. Obafemi versus Javon was special. Grace versus Blake, cooked. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to watch that tonight. I may record a video on this Raja Jackson situation. I'm wondering if I could play clips from his stream. I got clips all saved up. You think there'll be a problem if I play some of the clips on the video? Or no? Or maybe I just don't make a video, period. Devin with the $4.99. Hope I'm genuinely wrong, but I think we could legit see someone die in the ring in AEW. So much unnecessary stuff. You forget that spot the next day. I agree, bro. We will see an eventual paralyzation or a death in AEW. Yes. I don't know why they continue doing what they do. I don't. All for the sake of some headline steals and some viral moments. No problem. His channel was banned permanently. As long as I don't show the beatdown, I should be good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I was hoping to record maybe something after the stream, but I don't know if I will. I may just go watch NXT. Devin, thank you, brother. Francis Loop with a $10 super chat. If the Death Riders are trying to recruit Statlander, I don't see how Stat and Marina Shafir will coexist. I think Marina will turn on Moxley, Claudio, and Yuta and join Don Callis. It's called creative. For Illuminati with a 5. That's why Punk versus McIntyre blood spots were so special inside Hell in a Cell. Yeah, I don't think Jesse understands, man. It's not that I don't like blood. I don't like the way AEW does it, and AEW does it too often to a point where it's not special anymore. Wardlow needs to run solo now. Yes, I agree. Hollywood guy with a $5 super chat. JD, did you happen to see a story that Hogan was a victim of malpractice? And I read that WrestleMania is going to have $70,000 seats near the ring. Well, they could fuck off. And yes, I did read that it could be a situation of malpractice. I did see that. Maybe I'll make a video on that. There's a couple of things I can make a video on. Maybe we'll save that for next week. Because there really wasn't much news this week, right? What was the biggest news story that came out of pro wrestling this week? I know I didn't cover SmackDown, but what else are people talking about? Raja Jackson, Hulk Hogan, what else? It's not much, right? Hollywood guy with a $5 super chat. JD, did you happen to... Yes, I did see that. Thank you, bro. I'm reading that all over again. Thank you, Hollywood guy. Billy with a $20 super chat. First to you, JD. Yesterday, I had to say goodbye to my kitty, Randy, of 20 years. It's been rough for the family. I've been out of it and heartbroken. Brother, I am right there with you, man. I am still somehow grieving over the loss of Bacardi. 21 years, brother. Bro, that's a down payment on a house, a down payment on a car. Bro, I'm not spending $70,000 to be disappointed with WrestleMania. Ridiculous. Anakin, women, and the children too. Skywalker with a $5 super chat. If you ever read my super chats again, just know I'm in solitary confinement in Guantanamo Bay. Yeah. Thank you, Anakin. Francis Loop with the $5 super chat. I love your idea of getting Jurassic Express together. But I think Jack Perry should keep his facial hair and they should be more aggressive. I agree. I'd love to see them back together. I was a big fan of Jurassic Express. William Bellin with a $5 super chat. Thank you, William. William with a $5 super chat. He says, AJD and OTS family Forbidden Door should be closed for good. OTS for life. Prayers for you, bro. Thank you, brother. Lavelle with a 5. How do you think the Raja Jackson attack would be handled if it happened in WWE or AEW? Seems like the whole thing was a work, but it turned into a shoot. Bro, it was a work that turned into a shoot. Nothing makes sense. Let me shut this off. Nothing makes sense. Apparently, the dude, Sicko Stu, hit him in the head with a beer can outside, and everything was being filmed to set up the angle. Apparently, after that scene was shot, he was still streaming on his Kick channel, and they worked it out. They explained to him it was a work, and he apologized for the way he hit him. If it was too hard, he apologized to him, and everything seemed to be okay. Then there was another clip I saw of this cowboy character. I don't know who his name is. If anybody could get me his name, I would love to know who he is. He's on his stream, and this other guy, this cowboy dude, is telling Raja Jackson, you got to go out there and give him a receipt. Like, give him a receipt. Motherfucker, a receipt would be a hard, stiff punch, one punch. Not fucking 12 or 13 punches to a point where you're fucking committing murder in the middle of the ring. So I don't know what that dude's name is. I don't even know what that name... That dude is complicit in all the shit if that's the case. And then we saw the clip of him in the ring. I don't know if the spine buster that he did, the takedown slam that he did, knocked out Sicko Stu. But man, after that first punch, it was over. And he just continued to just lay into him. I mean, by the time everything was done, man, there's like 9, 10, 11 punches there. It's all over. And then the referee who's standing there watched all this happen. He didn't lift a finger. He didn't make a motion. He didn't do anything. He watched as this dude was getting fucking potentially murdered in the middle of the ring. I would revoke that guy's referee license and never have him referee another wrestling match ever again. Whoever that dude was. And by the time they all got in there to take this dude off of Sicko Stu, I mean, it was all over after that. It was, I mean, they all watched as their cohort could have been fucking killed in the middle of the ring. A receipt, he said. Go out there and give him a receipt. Motherfucker, this guy gave him a laundry list of a receipt. Never mind going to the fucking bodega and grabbing a bottle of dish detergent and a fucking can of cat food. Holy shit. The ref did nothing. I don't give a fuck. Fucking plow into him, man. Fucking tackle him to the ground. Stop it any way you can. Ridiculous. Apparently the promotion that he did this at is Rikishi's promotion. What does Rikishi have to do with this? This is Rikishi's promotion. This promotion is in the WWE ID system. Man, does that make WWE look bad? I would not be working with this fucking company again. Captain Saul with a $5 super chat. So the WWE Queen of Catering is the TNA Knockouts champ. How low their standards are over there. Same company that allowed Tessa to be men's champion. Francis Little with 5. There's a picture floating around with Mercedes 9 titles representing 9 different countries. And the Owen Hart Cup title represents Canada. And Bastardo, good luck tomorrow. You showed an amazing amount of empathy when my mother passed by letting us know your situation with your parents. Much love, brother. Thank you, man. Hope you are well. Guys, I'm about to get out of here, man. I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe make some content. Maybe record some content. Watch NXT Wave. I don't know what I'm doing. I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for a tremendous stream tonight. Back in the saddle once again after taking a rare day off. on Friday. And man, did we fucking kill it tonight. 3,100 people for Forbidden Door. You guys are great. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Please go check out all the other content on the channel. There's plenty of it. I'll see you back live tomorrow for Monday Night Raw right here on Off the Script. Thank you guys very much for all your love and support. See you back tomorrow night for Monday Night Raw.